we have one of my favorite projects to do with the Cricut today. It's paper, it's 3D, it's a moment. You guys are gonna love it. If you have never done a 3D paper project, this is gonna definitely rock your socks off.
Yes.
We're unboxing a Cricut because sometimes it can be overwhelming. I know some of you at home are sitting there and like, ooh, I have a Cricut in the box. Well, what I want you to do is pause the video, go find your Cricut, enjoy. You're gonna love today's segment. It's gonna be awesome. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to unbox this machine today. We're gonna talk all about paper because it's one of my favorite things. And we're gonna make this, is this the pillow box?
Yes.
I love the pillow box, y'all.
Me too.
The pillow box is so good.
We did a Mother's Day gift with it and did like a cutout of the front of it. So lots of options.
Jeff says, in your opinion, is there a reason to upgrade to a Maker 3 if you don't use smart material? So Jeff, for me personally, the biggest value I find in the Maker 3 is how quiet it is. This is a very quiet machine, and that's my personal favorite reason. Other than that, no, we don't use smart material. They're more expensive, they're harder to use, and they're confusing. So we like to use the old-fashioned way with a Cricut mat, and it's so, so good. So how many of us are scared to open our Cricut? I want to talk to all of you that are scared to take this out of the box because I want to show you it is not hard or overwhelming at all. So yay, I love it. I'm so, so excited. So let's open it up. So we're just gonna take a look at the box. Now y'all, I like to refer to Cricut as like an Apple product. It is a luxury. And
it's very nice.
It's very, there's not a lot in here.
Yeah.
They stopped with, when it comes to the Airs and the Explorers 3s, they stopped giving you Cricut mats. So when you first open this is an Explorer 3, everyone. When you open it up, you get smart material. You get a sheet of smart iron-on, you get some transfer tape, and I think you get a sheet of regular vinyl too. Let's just open this up. So this is like enough to make a project, I think. So you get their transfer tape. I'm a fan of Cricut transfer tape. Alicia prefers Caesar transfer tape, but it's just not really for me as much as the other.
It's total personal preference.
Yeah, I love this transfer tape. Number 2, you're getting a sheet of Cricut Smart Vinyl. This is just so thick. I do not enjoy it as much, and it's more expensive. This is their Smart Cardstock, I think. Yeah, Smart Paper Sticker Cardstock. Listen, let's not even talk about why someone needs this. Like, I'm confused.
And they're calling it smart because it's matless. So whenever you get a Cricut, you cut on a mat typically. But the smart products, they don't use a mat. And really, y'all, it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We're cutting in a 12 by 12 square like 90% of the time. So.
And if anyone's curious about Inner Circle, check the join page. You'll see the additional coaching calls, the training curriculum, the bonus courses that you get in addition to the workbooks and the planner on that sign up page. So last but not least, you get the smart iron-on. And again, you would cut this without any type of mat. So that's super fun. We're gonna sit this to the side right here. And then now you see the Cricut. This is your cord. So this is like a printer cable to your computer. You'll plug this into the Cricut, you'll plug this into your computer and hardwire the connectivity right here. So this is super fun. Next up, you'll see this is kind of like the boring, like, let's get started. They give you another sheet of smart vinyl, which is a little
They must have a surplus.
They must have extra. I've never seen Cricut over deliver, but wow. Thank you, Cricut. So next up, we're going to just take it out of the box. Like you can see, you have the cord. I love the new cords. They're very easy to use. So we'll just sit this to the side. And then last but not least, we're going to get the Cricut out of the box. Ta-da! Dun, 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 dun.
Tanner, I told you I did this with one of my best friends at my house like a month ago.
Isn't it so fun?
She made like 50 onesies for her sister's
No
baby
way.
shower. It was like really, it was probably like 25, but.
My property managers, how do I say this? My property manager, Hunter, shout out to him. He's amazing. He literally keeps my life together. His fiance's sister got a Cricut. And they asked me on Christmas if I was gonna be at the office. I was like, no.
They can come by.
I told him, I said, come. I invited him to my house. I said, I got everything at my house. We'll just craft there.
Yeah, that's
so
fun.
we're gonna have to have them over this week. So anyway, we're gonna take this out of the box, and we're gonna remove this. Now let's talk about the Explorer versus a Maker. So this Explorer, I believe is like 13 pounds. I'm trying to find the weight.
I don't notice a significant weight difference just by lifting and handling them,
They're
like
a little,
in the studio.
There's a difference for sure.
Is this one lighter?
Yes, it's a lot lighter. I want to say this is 13 to 15 pounds, while the Cricut Maker is definitely in the roughly like 100 pound, or excuse me, the 20, they're in the 20 pounds. So that is super, super fun.
The small pieces for testing is what everyone's saying.
Yes, yes. But they give you the large pieces too. So it's just like a little confusing, right? Like,
yeah.
How about it? So you can open this up. You just want to remove this little inner piece and then just take off this tape. So we're just going to rip this. So you'll notice the Cricut Maker is more expensive. And you'll notice that the Cricut Maker is definitely, you know, something that you will see a lot of. Like there's more tools, there's more things to do with it. We pretty much can do everything that we like to do with an Explorer as well as a Maker.
Yeah.
So there's not too much difference for us personally. But now what you would do is you would go to the setup. So what I want to show you is over here, Cricut's made it really easy to say, you know, need help. You can visit cricut.com/contact, but there's usually a let's get started and it says activate your machine. If you are brand new to Cricut, you will need to activate your machine, which means create a Cricut Design Space account. Now, what will happen is that you will see, and we can actually do this together just so that you all are well aware. I won't make an account, but I will be able to share with you. Let's go to cricut.com/setup. And what you're going to see here is it's going to encourage you to go through the whole entire process of being like, hey, do you have a cutting machine? I do. Do you have an Explorer family, a Maker family, a Joy family? We have that Explorer family. And we're going to agree to the terms, and it's going to encourage you to download Design Space. Okay, so I've already downloaded it, so we can click Open App, and we'll click Open Cricut Design Space. Ta-da!
I love Cricut because it's so streamlined and clean cut. There's not a lot of extra buttons. There's not a lot of extra like fluff, and it's very easy to follow step by step when you're installing and using Design Space and things like that.
Exactly.
It can be easy. I know it seems daunting, and I hear people saying, oh, I'm intimidated by Design Space, but once we get in there, it's super easy.
Based on the other machines on the market, I would say this is your best bet. So I already have an account. It would encourage you to sign up and create an account if you hadn't already. So what I want to do now is just give you a briefing of what the software is. Now, a big question and a big training differentiator that we get is a lot of people constantly ask me, Tanner, do I have to pay for Cricut Design Space? And the answer is no. You do not have to pay for Cricut Design Space. Cricut Design Space is free. So the software you're looking at right now is included because you have purchased a Cricut. This is included and you're able to enjoy it and take full advantage of the machine. You are not able to use your Cricut without Cricut Design Space. It has to be, you have to use it, okay? What is different is Cricut Access. Cricut Access allows you to save a little shopping at Cricut. It gives you access to a lot of different cut files, but it doesn't give training. So I want to share with you why I think Makers Gonna Learn is a better investment if you're comparing Makers Gonna Learn to Cricut Access. So let's go to projects, and you can see there's all these projects. And let's take the chipboard Christmas tree, which I personally think is amazing. Okay, like I would love to make this. But as a Cricut beginner, you may not be able to make this because here's the tutorial they give. This is actually more in depth than a lot of them. There's actual photos, which is handy, but a lot of them don't give much support at all. So just be careful when you're joining Access. I know you may have a lot of different files here, but you're not getting a lot of access for like support. So that's what we do different is we give a ton of support, like making your graduation cap, like
Like if we came out with a file like that, we would probably have a tutorial
we
to
would have
follow
a video, we'd have a lot more.
Right.
Some of this can just get it confusing and whatnot. So you just want to be careful if you're not able to get support. You know, what's the point of having all the files? So in our membership, anything you download, you get to keep forever. Cricut Access, once you cancel, you lose access to everything, unfortunately. And those are just some things to keep in mind, okay? So we are so excited. If you're a Makers Gonna Learn member, I wanna show you our platform. So we are really all about ease. So this is our cut file area, and you are gonna be able to like look at, today we're doing paper in 3D. So we can go up here to 3D, and this is after you have an account. Membership is so good, so be sure to join. If you're new, I'm just gonna sign in real quick. So what we'll do is go over to cut files, and you're going to see that you have 3D. So let's go to 3D now that I'm signed in. And under 3D, there's so many 3D projects. So the frog, the elf on the shelf projects, it is so much fun, and I love it. So once you download one of our files and upload it to the amazing Design Space, it's gonna be saved to your account on Design Space. And I'll share with you that here in a moment. But I'll search for boxes. So let's just search box, and we'll see how many different boxes there are. So you have the tile ornament box, the skyline in a box, the lantern box, the ornament box, the bat treat box. You have a lot of shadow boxes. We love doing shadow boxes.
Those are so pretty.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
We have different ones, so they're super fun. The snowflake box, the tree box, and let's see. Oh, we're in Christmas. We don't want to be in Christmas. We want to be in 3D. Let's go over here, search again.
This is where I really like to do the view all sometimes.
Oh my gosh,
I can just scroll through.
Yes. Love it. So for some reason, it keeps putting me in Christmas. I just want to be in 3D. So I love the view all button as well. I found that Makers Gonna Learn on top of Cricut Access provides me the best cut files and instructions. Access alone is not enough, even if you are only a hobby crafter and not planning on selling. Makers Gonna Learn is great. Thank you so much. So you can see we have a lot of different boxes and whatnot. Here's the ones I wanted to share with you. So we have the mailbox, we have the card box, we have the 3D box with folding lid, one of my favorites, a gable box, a heart box, the pillow box, which is what we're going to use today. So this is our fry box. I love the fry box.
It's
so
very
fun.
cute. I think that would be a cute Valentine's, and I might make those for Ruby that say like fries before guys or something.
Yes,
for her little girls at
daycare. That's
so
fun.
cute.
So we'll download this file right here, and it's going to give you a zip file. So let's go over here to Design Space, and we are going to go to Upload. You'll go to Upload Image, and we're going to now come over here and go to Downloads, and you'll see you have the paper box, the 3D pillow box. Double click that. So you'll take the SVG, now that you unzipped it, you're going to take it and drop it right here. This is going to allow you to have the full SVG separated with colors, with lines, etc. So we're going to click Upload, and we're going to select it and add it to the canvas.
Coffee Powered Home says, been obsessed with tags and shakers recently.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make a 3D shaker letter. I have been mad sciencing it.
You're going to love it.
I want to make one so bad. I want to make one.
Rocking it.
I need it to be amazing.
Teach us.
I know. I can't wait either.
So what we're going to do is, now that we have the file here, one thing I want you to do and make sure is to make sure. So Miss P, sounds like we need to email customer care. Thank you, Sadie. She's dropping that for you. When you upload a file, let's go to Upload and click View All. Once you upload one of our files to Design Space, you have it here. So this is super, super cool. So you can just search for it, and you could search like box and see all of our box files that we have from the site that we put here. So that's super cool. So you don't have to upload it again. So yay! Now that we have this here, what we're going to do is we're going to select the lines. So the Cricut software doesn't know that this needs to score rather than cut. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure to select these lines, and we're going to change it from an operation of cut to an operation of score. And then we'll come down here and do that to our second area. And we're going to click Operation, Score. And now we will press Ungroup. So we're going to ungroup this. And now we want to attach our score lines to our cut lines. So we're going to click Attach. And then we're going to attach the bottom score lines to the cut lines by clicking Attach. So here's what we got. All of this is ready to go. Should we change the size? Will this make the exact same size?
It should make the exact same size.
This is a perfect size. So it's about 6 by 3 once it's built. For this, it's 6 by 7 almost. And what you'll see here is we use 3 different pieces. So we are actually going to cut this out on some amazing cardstock today. We've linked it down below and we're super excited. So here is what I want you to understand. You already have got your machine out of the box. You downloaded Design Space, followed that. You've got the software and it is super fun. So how do we repeat, ungroup, and detach? So let me share with you. When you upload an SVG like ours, it's going to come in like this. So look, it's all together, meaning it's grouped together. So if I click on it, I can't move anything around, which is frustrating. So first, you always will want to ungroup. I like to size it first before ungrouping.
Yes, that's a good point.
If you need to make it bigger first, okay?
Right.
So once it's this size, you will now click Ungroup, and you're going to first select the score lines and go from Basic Operation in the top left-hand corner, you're going to go to Score. And then we need to do it to these score lines here. So find them in the Layers panel, click on this right here, and you're going to click from Operation, you're going to click Score. Ta-da!
Amazing.
Love it. And then the last thing you need to do is keep the score lines where they are on the canvas, so we need to attach them. So we are going to go ahead and select this right here, and we're going to click Attach. And then we're going to come down here, select these 2 layers, and click Attach, which attaches down here at the bottom right-hand corner. So super fun. Click Attach. Now what happens is I can't move my score lines away from my cut lines. And a lot of you, if you get confused, will be like, oh my gosh, like, how does Cricut not automatically know that it needs to be there? Well, my friends, what I want you to understand is that we have to tell the Cricut what we want. So you have to just be, thorough. And a lot of us say, how do we know what needs to be scored? So what you'll notice is that these score lines are typical lines. There's not many files that have just random cut lines on them.
Right.
So if you see lines, chances are there's to be made score.
Yes.
So yay, I'm super excited. It's super awesome. I'm going to delete this out because we already have what we need. And then what you're going to see here today is we are using a really fun craft cardstock for our light gray color. We're using the craft cardstock for our dark gray, and we're using glitter for our little wrap right here. So that is going to be super, super fun. We don't have the sticker we're using today, but I want to share with you that the file that we're using is available for Makers Gonna Learn. And the name, do you know the name of the file?
It's Floral MGL logo, I want to say.
Oh my gosh, let me share with you this. If you want to make some Makers Gonna Learn swag today, go to Cut Files.
And if y'all didn't see my sweatshirt yesterday, I used this file for the sweatshirt.
I love it.
And it is so pretty.
I love it.
It's like my favorite thing.
It's awesome.
I think I always type in like floral logo to find it.
Yeah.
And it brings it up.
You cut me out once, so we're good.
Okay.
So we have stickers. These stickers we also have, we're mailing you one, but we did some print and cuts with it too, so it's super fun. So we're just going to search for Floral MGL and see if, oh, here it is. So you can download this, turn this into a shirt, turn this into a sticker.
Yeah.
Great way to make your own Makers Gonna Learn merch, which we would love, love, love for you to do. So we will add that as a little piece at the end. But we're focused on building your very first box. This is so fun. So this is gonna be awesome. So look what happens. We are going to click Make It, and you're going to see you have your glitter, you have your base layer, and then you have your second layer. Now, I'm cutting my base layer out of the same craft cardstock I'm cutting this layer out of. So today, I want to make sure you all know one of our favorite secrets. I want to teach you how to move a layer that is a different color to a different mat. Meaning, instead of loading it twice, you are going to be able to move this to that second mat and only have to cut this on two mats, a glitter mat and a craft cardstock mat. So let's click on this layer. Let's click the 3 dots at the top left-hand corner, and we're going to click Move Object. Y'all ready for this? Click Move Object, and now we're going to click Move Object, select a new mat or material color. So we're going to click that second mat and press Confirm. Ta-da!
Magic!
I'm moving it over, and now we only have 2 mats that we need to worry about, which is incredible.
Love that.
The machine's letting us know we're going to score and do a basic cut, which is awesome. We're going to click Continue. And Sadie, let's see if we can go overhead real quick, because I just want to share with you all that the blade is already put in. And then all you need to do is plug in the USB and plug in your power source. 2 very, very simple things to be able to do. So really awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to grab the cord, our cords here, and we're going to plug the Cricut into the USB. I've already plugged it into my computer. And what I'm going to do is actually use my actual cord here, because the Maker 3 machines don't work with our original Maker. So I'm just going to set up this new cord. Okay, so now I'm turning my machine on. So we're going to come up here and we're going to click the Explore machine. Now, can we go to the share screen real quick, because I find myself struggling with this all the time. We have a lot of machines here. So be sure you select the right machine you're working with. So we're going to have to click Change on Canvas. We're going to click Yes, I want to cancel my cut. And we're going to go from Maker to Explore 3. Dun, 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 dun. And then click Make It again. And look, I have to move my layer because I had to cancel my cut. Move Object, Mat 1. Now it moved, look, it moved my mats around. Is that not so funny? It's crazy.
Mind of its own.
Yeah, crazy. So we'll click Continue. We're connecting with the USB. Y'all are the GOAT. Y'all are so fun. Thank you so much. I forgot to share with y'all what we were even making. This is what we're making today. I got so excited. This is so fun. So this is what we're making today. Super
These are
awesome.
great for packaging your craft items if you're planning to sell.
Yeah.
And you can resize them to fit your products, like if you're doing socks, if you're doing jewelry, if you're doing,
Yes,
I mean,
we
a
love
lot
it.
of different things. Soaps could fit
So
in there
much
if you made
fun.
them bigger.
So what we're going to do, we're having to reboot our machine because it's new, because you literally watched me unbox a machine. We're having to install some updates. So Sadie, let's show them what it looks like when we first install and update our machine. This is getting new firmware on our machine. If you look at the share back to the table, I'm gonna go over some of my favorite supplies. We are using the ATG Advanced Tape Glider. This is my favorite way to do paper crafts. It's super fun, it's fast, it's easy to use. You'll love it. This is a paper trimmer. This one's from Cricut. We've been testing some Fisker ones as well, so you'll really enjoy all the differences that you have available with this. So this is super, super fun.
There's another brand that we really like too, but y'all, we tried to find it online and they don't sell it. We found it on eBay for some like crazy amount. Like, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'll find your one that you love too.
Now we've linked some of our friend Ashley Falco's cardstock. You can check this out, link down below. She has a lot of colors in both glitter.
Shed-proof glitter.
Shed-proof glitter.
Shed-proof glitter.
That's why we're using it, because it's shed-proof. Super fun. So yeah, we have both of these available. Super awesome. We have the glitter. We're using a Maker's Learn X-Acto knife. And I love this craft paper right here. Like, this is one of my favorite colors. So we're using that as well. So we're going to use medium cardstock setting for our first mat. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you how I use a scoring stylus and not a scoring wheel. And I like to use my bone folder sometimes to burnish paper onto the mat.
Honestly, whatever's on hand, you guys.
Yeah. I mean, your arm, I mean, whatever you got.
Before I knew what a burnishing tool, I was using a credit card.
You're awesome. You're so cool.
Not here, but
Not
like
here, yeah.
at home when I was out in the wild.
Yes,
at my
out in the
house.
wild. So we're going to use medium cardstock. We're going to, it's going to encourage us. So when you have an Explore machine, you have to use the scoring stylus. A lot of us here have a maker, and you could use the scoring wheel. But I still encourage you to use the scoring stylus. I think it's still an amazing, amazing tool. It's cheaper, it's easier, and better to use. So look, take your scoring stylus, open clamp A, and we're just gonna pop it in.
Slides right in.
Close it, you're good to go. Now we're going to take our mat, we're gonna load this in, click load.
I love the stylus because I don't have to switch it out.
Yes,
like, if
it has its own
use,
clamp.
Like when you use the maker, if you use an adaptive tool, which the adaptive tools are amazing, but they both use clamp A. So Cricut Design Space will prompt you to put your scoring wheel in, and you put it in, and it's like, okay, now put the fine point in, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
So look, we've got the mat here. We've made sure our paper's on it. It's loaded. Now we can press the play button. So woohoo!
Yay!
It's going to now start cutting. For a lot of you, this could be your first cut, which is awesome. If you don't have a bone folder, pick up a bone folder from like your local craft store. It's so much fun. And the ATG gun you can find on Amazon. It's from Scotch. I want to say $27 or so. I'm not sure, but you can also find it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Okay, now we're gonna watch it cut.
Christina, these are Ashley Falco's papers.
Love Ashley.
Love it.
Love, love, love. All right, so it's just cutting away. I'm gonna teach y'all some of my favorite hacks about paper too, because it's so good. Woo! No, no! Ah! This happens, y'all. Welcome to Real Life with Tanner. Welcome to Real Life. Do we have another sheet of this?
We absolutely do.
Thank you. And grab me a new mat too. I mean, if we're just asking for the world, this mat.
What else? Anything you need, I got you.
This is really interesting. So what you've noticed here is that the Cricut scored great, and then we got up to a corner, and it just took the whole piece of paper. This happens sometimes, y'all. This is not anything to have drama about, get upset about, beat yourself up about. It will happen. Now, I want to blame today, not my burnishing. I think my burnishing was great. The mat just is not sticky.
Let me feel that one.
Feel it. Like,
oh yeah, this is better.
Love it, love it, love it. So our mats have been loved on. Even though this mat looks to be dirtier, I think it happens. Now, what I want you to notice is I didn't get upset. I didn't get frustrated. Like, it's just a part of the fun. Like, literally.
It's a part of the process, you all.
Just part of it.
But you know, that's why I love paper crafting, because it's inexpensive if you mess up.
Yeah.
You can just go grab another
sheet of
paper.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm using the proper tools now. I grabbed my Maker's Glue and burnishing tool. So, yay, I love it. So now, here, load this in again. I think it's really important that we don't beat ourselves up. I really want to encourage y'all not to beat yourself up when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm going to select the first mat again. I'm going to select medium cardstock. It was cutting great. So now...
It must have just got caught up or something.
I think the mat was really not sticky.
Yeah, that could very well be it. And also, if you are using glitter cardstock and then you put in a regular piece of cardstock and you try to cut on glitter cardstock setting, it'll mess up your regular cardstock.
So after we cut this mat, we're going to change out the settings to cut our glitter, which we're super excited. Which way do you fold the paper after scoring? So April, I'll share with you exactly how I like to score and things like that. Okay, it's scored.
I love watching it score. I don't know,
too.
It's so satisfying.
I love watching it cut everything.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Guys, this is perfect. Valentine's Day is coming up. Like Alicia already said, this would be great for the kids to do some type of little gift treats or anything like that. Look, now we can unload the mat. I want to share with you all my favorite tip for cutting cardstock is how you peel it up, because this really matters. So if I just rip this up, I would ruin the sheet, so I couldn't use the rest of it. So go overhead with me. We're going to lay it flat. This is what I call going with gravity. We're going to peel it back, and it's going to be flat. It's very intentional, because then look. Now I can take a piece of, like, I have this whole piece. I can take some scissors, trim off the excess, have this extra piece, and it's laying flat. And then look at how flat my pieces are here. This
We
is
love that.
so good. So good. So that's awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it's really, really awesome. So you'll see that this will be really fun to score and build. It's going to be awesome and no problem whatsoever. So this is awesome. And then now we're going to add our glitter. Do the same thing. But what we'll do now is we will go ahead and change the material after we get it ready to go. So I'm just going to grab the burnishing tool, lay this down flat.
And this glitter paper feels so good.
It's awesome. And notice
feels good quality.
it's not going anywhere. Like the glitter is not going anywhere. Like
it's amazing.
So yeah, we're going to click browse all material. We're going to search for glitter and we'll click glitter cardstock and click done. Love it. All right, so, okay, my Cricut is saying it had a moment. It literally is red.
The red button of doom.
Yeah. Y'all, what a great video for you guys to
troubleshoot. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
This is how it is. I like in real life, y'all. I know we get on here and show y'all how to do stuff, but like really on real life,
So
we
Carol
mess up every day.
Yeah, Carol asked if Ashley's paper is solid core or white core. For the regular cardstock, it's solid core, which is super, super fun. The glitter, I believe, would have to be white core. So it's telling us to unload the material, which we did. I'm just gonna click done. And we're gonna relaunch this. Now I'm gonna have to try Ashley's paper. You will love it. I don't believe she mailed this to us. Like, we literally just bought it.
Yeah, we did. We just bought a bunch of different colors.
Love it. We've been testing a lot of different cardstock lately. All right, so glitter cardstock, press done. We're gonna load this in again. I'm not sure what entirely happened.
It's weird because it didn't move the cardstock at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it got jammed. A lot of times when your paper gets jammed, you'll get the red light of doom.
It got jammed a little.
Oh, maybe that's what happened.
I'm gonna monitor it this time instead of just chat.
Jeanette wants to see the scoring tool once we're done.
Okay. The scoring stylus is awesome. You'll really enjoy it.
Yes, it's very handy. And so if you all have an Explore family, you'll have to use the stylus. The maker, you can use the stylus or the
Either
adaptive tool, like the scoring wheel. So.
Oh, it's really close to the edge of the paper. I think that's how it got hung.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and it's cutting a second line just to make sure it's cut perfect, which is awesome.
Yes.
Aw, thank you. I totally believe that, Tanner. Thanks so much for the tutorials. Listen, we're here to serve. Thank you. So again, flip that around back, peel this off. Notice how easy it cut.
Dang.
Like, that is awesome. So then we have these scrap pieces that we will keep for another project. So awesome. So here's what we're gonna do. For this layer, there's 2 score lines and it's hard to see them. So we just have to find them and just score. So then we can grab our bone folder, score. Look at that, it snaps into place. And then we wanna find our score line over here. You'll see that it will just like snap into place pretty much. And then you grab it and score it. So that's awesome. So we've scored this, which is awesome. And then we're gonna grab our cardstock. So our cardstock here, you can see there's some like rounded edges. So the edges are harder to score, I will say, but we're gonna start with any lines. So this line right here is a big one to score. So I like to just like let it kind of fall into place. And then as it falls into place, I like to score it.
April's asking, you may need to clarify a little bit, April. Why does the paper tear when folding at the score line?
Sometimes you're using too thick of cardstock.
Yes.
That's when I would realize it would to tear, like if I'm using too thick of cardstock. Okay, my lighting here. Oh, there's our score line. Sometimes the lighting is a really big part of scoring and things like that.
Yeah, it helps you find your lines.
Yes.
Bobby O'Brien, I've never tried cutting my glitter upside down. We didn't do that today, but typically we'll put transfer tape onto our mat, sticky side up, and then we'll put our glitter cardstock, glitter side down on top of it, and then we'll cut the glitter from the back. Now, the glitter cardstock we use today is very fine, and it's like almost a solid piece of cardstock. Like, it doesn't feel textured like glitter would.
Right.
So we didn't have any issues today.
Yes. So with the ATG gun, this is why I love it. So it's the most adhesive for the best bang for your buck. It does look aggressive. It's not, I promise. So then we're going to give 2 lines. And then we're going to line up this. And once we're good, we can apply this down. You'll notice that it adheres really quickly. So we just applied this here. And now you can pop your box out. Notice I didn't even try to get these to fall in place yet, because what I love is that they kind of just fall in place after you do the project. Like after you adhere that down, you'll see it's so much easier to get the score lines to do what they need to do. So you can pop that one in, and then this last one, you just want to find that line and just slowly, this is when you slowly just kind of let it fall into place. And then I like to rub my finger around it just to make sure that I'm like, okay, it looks good. The edges aren't, too tight or anything like that. So that looks really, really good on this side. And then we're going to repeat. So where it has the little lip, it goes in first. Again, go around here. Super awesome. I love working with 80-pound cardstock for 3D projects. Like, this cardstock is really good for 3D. That's why we're featuring it today, because I think you'll be really, really impressed with it. So look, now we have this. So what we'll do next is we'll be able to add this, and you can use an ATG gun or you can use a hot glue gun. I'm gonna use ATG today just to make it really, really simple. So I'm just gonna add some, like 3 lines here, and see if that will work. So there we have it. I'm going to make sure this is looking good right up here. Make sure it's tight. Always make sure it's tight. Okay, flip it around back, and then look at this. Love that. Ta-da!
So cute.
Look at it. Oh my gosh, it's looking so good.
I love it.
And then here's what we're gonna be able to do. Look, we've already cut out one of these little Cricuts. You can add an area to add a hole to have the Cricut cut it, or you could do, just anything that you want. You could poke a hole out yourself.
This would be a great spot for you to plug your logo in if you're selling items. This is a great for branding, I think.
So I'm just gonna use this little tool, I think. This is I don't really know what this tool is, but you just need like a little tiny hole. So you can poke that through.
That's a paper quiller.
Love it. I love using paper quillers to poke holes. I don't know if you've ever done that.
No,
it's
but
one
that's
of my
a good
favorites.
idea.
It's one of my favorite ways. You're just gonna grab some twine, and then I'm going to, this is when it gets fun, because you're like, how am I gonna thread this through? Well, you just wanna keep it real tight. Some people, I like to do a fresh cut, so I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors. And this project is really simple, y'all. Like, this is not hard at all. This is one of the new makers can learn. Pair of scissors. Cut it at an angle.
I love those scissors.
Love them.
They're so sharp.
Yeah. And then you can kind of just pull it through. Ta-da! Okay. Now I'm going to invite Alicia to come over and tie a bow, because I'm like, y'all, I did
I'm
a
the
lot.
designated bow maker.
We got the bow maker. I got it on for you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Give us your bow tips, because you just taught a class on this, right?
I did. Okay.
You're amazing.
Okay.
Where can they get your bow class?
It's on the channel, and it has 4 presents.
Woohoo!
And it has, we actually do 5 bows in the video.
Yeah.
And I think we do something simple like this. And actually, Tanner, I would put this on after I tie my bow.
No way.
Yeah. So
Stop it.
what I would do, I'm gonna start from the underneath. So I've got some extra. I'm gonna like sit this guy kind of on top, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give myself. I probably got way more extra than I need here.
I mean, there's a lot.
So you can see I've got excess. All right, what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to just tie this.
Okay,
like,
I can do that.
Yeah,
that's
basic.
Not hard.
That's easy, right?
Am I tying my shoes?
Basically.
No way.
Yeah, you're
Stop
basically
it.
tying your shoes.
Good luck getting that back on there.
Okay, so
The
what
Lord
I would
help
do.
me.
So what I would do here, the Lord did help you. What on
I
earth?
told you, honey. I prayed.
Okay, so what I would do here.
Cut a fresh little. I did cut a little fresh.
Hold on, let me just.
You're making the hole bigger.
I need it to be bigger. I need to get that string in there.
I was able to get it in.
Okay, you're just fancy like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm kidding. Alicia can totally do this.
Okay, here we go. Focus.
I did not feed it through the back.
I want you to feed it through the back so that it sits facing forward.
Alicia did it.
No, I didn't, Tanner.
We'll just make your hole a little bigger.
Okay, I want you all to, I'm going to cut this off because I want you to see.
Keep it taut. Yeah, the angle is where it's at.
The angle really is going to help.
Yes, look at this, y'all.
This is like a double twine, so it doesn't want to be nice to me right now. Come on through, Becky.
Oh, the Cricut can also cut this for y'all, just in case you're forgetting.
Don't be like us.
We're just silly.
Okay.
She did it.
All right.
I knew it. I had faith in her.
We went through from the back. I'm just going to slide this on.
Okay.
And kind of put it in the center where I would want it in its final destination. I'm going to make a loop, make a rabbit ear.
This is like tying a shoe.
It's just like tying a shoe. Make a rabbit ear, swing it around.
That's tying a shoe.
And then you're just literally.
Oh, maybe I could have done this.
You could have done it.
You're awesome.
You totally could have.
You're awesome.
And then you just trim your tails.
Love it.
And that's it. And I just think these would be really cute with your logo.
We need to make a few of these for when we if we ever start mailing out like real gift cards like Amazon or Starbucks and things like that.
That
because
would be
this
cute.
would be great. So you could do this with your very own logo. You could do this with your favicon, anything like that. You will be able to feature your very own business, which is super fun. But you could also add like a little sentiment, like thinking of you, or do whatever you want. That is a print and cut training.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Maker's Gonna Learn. My name's Alicia and I'm a craft producer here with Maker's Gonna Learn, and today I'm gonna show you all how to create this super cute teacher gift. Okay, for the supplies you're gonna need for this project, we are going to need this little backer paper. We actually attached the file in the description, so you're not gonna have to make this. This will be ready for you to print. So you're going to need a printer as well. Any basic printer will do. That's just on regular cardstock paper. We're going to be putting this together in Design Space. We're using 2 of the Maker's Gonna Learn fonts for this, and I'll show you guys how to do this so you can kind of customize what words you're going to be using. You're going to need a burnishing tool, a weeding tool, probably need some scissors. We're going to be using black vinyl for this project. This is permanent matte black vinyl, standard grip Cricut mats. And then we've got multiple different colors of cardstock. So this is for our pencil. We've got the eraser color. This is the metal part above the eraser. This is the wood on the pencil, and then this will be the tip of our pencil. So this is the color palette we're going to be working with today. Very cute. And then you're also going to need a shadow box. Now you can get this any size that you want. We're doing an 8x10. I wouldn't go much smaller with the paper flowers just because you can't really, it's harder to make the paper flowers the smaller they are. This really shows the flowers and you'll be able to see the words really well. So I would go 8x10 or bigger for this project. And then obviously some transfer tape for our decal. And then we're also going to be using our Lynn Lily hot glue gun. If you guys are regulars here, you know we use this hot glue gun all of the time. The most important tool you're going to need to use for this project is a quilling tool. This is Bazil, the brand, but we have actually plugged what you're going to need in the description below, so you cannot complete this project without this. This is what's going to make our paper flowers. Okay, now that you guys know what supplies you're going to need, we're going to go ahead and hop into Design Space, and we are going to upload our image. Now, if you don't already have it downloaded, you're going to want to go to our website, which is makersgonnalearn.com, and we are going to go to Cut Files. We have multiple different flower files that you can use, but we're going to be using the rolled flower number 1. So I'm just going to search flower. And then once that loads, we will find the one we're looking for. There's a lot of different options here, which is pretty cool to see everything that we offer on the website. You can see right here, there's rolled flower 12, and then there's rolled flower 1. And if you go to the next couple pages, there's tons more of these rolled flowers. But we're just going to download this one, and we're going to open it up and make sure that it's unzipped. And it is right here. We're going to be using the SVG. So I'm just going to hop back on over to Design Space. I'm going to click browse, and then it should be right in our downloads. There it is. And then we're going to go ahead and click upload, and then you'll add it to your canvas right down here on the bottom right. So when it comes into design space, it's going to be a little bit bigger than we need it for this specific project. You may have to do a couple test cuts before you actually decide what size you want your flowers to be, but we're making an 8x10 flower box, and I need my flowers to be about between 4 and 5 inches. So 5.7 is a little bit big. I'm just going to do these at 4.5, so it's right in the middle. And if you plug 4.5 in here, this will automatically adjust. So we're going to make these 4.5, and this should automatically adjust on this one. And then you can duplicate this depending on how big your cardstock is. You may be able to fit more than 2 or 3 flowers. I think with this size, you could probably only do 3, maybe 4 on a 12x12 sheet of cardstock. But we're just going to use 3 right here. And I like to cut my colors out independently. So basically what I did was kind of measure out on my shadow box. So what I did was measure out on my shadow box about how big I was going to want my pencil. And you can actually take this backer out if it makes you feel better to see. You can take this little backer out. And I actually made a couple test flowers to start. So the first one I made was a little bit smaller, and I decided to use that for the head of my pencil. But for the rest of it, I wanted them to be the same size, and this was about how big I wanted. So this is a 4.5 inch flower rolled up, and you can kind of, I didn't cut all the flowers. These are just my testers, but I just wanted to see like how big. So I think this one was a little bit over 5 inches. So you can see I could wind it up a little bit more and make it a little bit tighter of a flower. And if you've made paper flowers before, you know you can kind of adjust it that way. But just stick with the 4.5. If you're doing an 8x10 project, then that should work perfectly for you. So back into design space, we're going to go ahead and click make it. And we will select on mat. And then we're going to put our cardstock onto our Cricut mat. So I'm going to be using a standard grip Cricut mat today. So you're going to want to place your cardstock at the top left corner, and then you can burnish it down. That way it stays on really good, and make sure your mat is sticky enough, but not too sticky since we're using paper. So standard grip is like a good go-to for this. And then we are going to go ahead and slide this into our Cricut. So once you're here, we're going to be cutting on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here and select 8.5 inches by 11. And since our flowers are a little bit bigger, it's going to put it on to 2 sheets of paper, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and select continue, and we will select our Cricut device, which is a Maker 3 today. And then once that loads, we will select browse all materials, and we're using 65-pound cardstock, which is considered a light cardstock. And we're going to select this setting and hit done, and then we're going to go over to our Cricut and we're going to go ahead and slide that in. So once your flowers are cut, what you're going to want to do is flip your mat over, and we're going to peel this paper off very gently. You don't want to just pull it up. We just want to kind of peel it off of the Cricut mat. That way we don't accidentally tear anything. So just take your time. And then you can see, it doesn't look like a flower yet, but you get these fun little spirally things. So these are going to be our flowers. We'll go ahead and pull this one out as well. Just be super careful because they're very delicate. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the other one. And while that's cutting, I'll show you all how to roll your flowers. So I've cut all of the flowers the same exact size, which is 4.5. But for the tip of the pencil, I'm going to go ahead and cut that a little bit smaller. I think we're going to go about, let's do 4 inches. just to make it like more of a fine point. And the rest of them, you can go ahead and cut those out and then just resize one flower to a little bit smaller than 4.5 and you should be good to go. So for the black flower, you're gonna need 1 3-inch flower. For the beige, you're going to need 2 4.5-inch flowers. For the yellow, you're gonna need 9 4.5-inch flowers. For the pink, you're gonna need 3 4.5-inch flowers. And for the gray, you're gonna need 3 4.5-inch flowers. So what I'm gonna do now is show you all how to actually roll your flowers. So you're gonna need your quilling tool. This is Basil. We actually have this link below for you. There's 2 ends. We're gonna be using this end. So this is like a dull tip, but there's actually a tiny, tiny little sliver cut out right through the middle of this. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the end of your flower and you're gonna slide it right in there. So you can kind of see how that's in there. It's just holding it. And then I like to keep my thumb and my pointer finger on both sides at all times. Just kind of get it started. And then you're just gonna hold that on there and you're gonna take your other hand and you're going to spin, spin, spin. And you're gonna be more comfortable depending on which hand you're more dominant with. I use both hands, so I can do it either way, but I feel better twisting with my right hand and holding with my left. And then you're gonna pop this off so it looks like a tiny little rosette, and you'll have a little tail right here. So at the middle of each flower, there's a little dot. That's gonna be where we're attaching the flower to. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of let this flower go. Don't be scared to let it go. It's just gonna it'll stay rolled up, but it'll come apart a little bit. And then you can spread it out as much as you want. I wouldn't make it too big. Like I feel like that's a good size for us for this project. And then I'm gonna take our Lily hot glue gun. I'm gonna put a dot right there. And then I'm just going to attach the rest of the flower onto that dot of glue. So let me grab my hot glue gun and just put one little dot there. And then you're gonna attach the whole flower to that dot. And just like that, you've got your first little paper flower. So cute, right? So we'll go ahead and set that to the side. And I'm gonna make all of these flowers and you guys can kind of watch it in a really quick time lapse. So here's the finished product for the paper flowers at least. How cute is this? Now we basically just have to go in and attach these to our backer. But before that, I'm gonna show you guys how to actually attach the printed off kindergarten paper onto the back of our shadow box. So this is the file that we used. It's down below in the description. You can just print this, just click the link, print it out. I printed it on 8.5 by 11 and I had to trim it up a little bit. And then this is our 8 by 10 backer from our shadow box. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put glue in all the corners and then we're just gonna stick this right on. And you've gotta be a little bit quick with your hot glue gun because it will dry if you take too long. I love this paper pattern. This is so nostalgic. If you guys use this, leave a comment down below if you use this when you were in grade school. I love it. And then we're just gonna, we'll keep it this way, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our flowers. I'm gonna place my flowers before I actually glue them down. That way I know they're exactly where I want them to be. So I'm just gonna start from the top and work my way down. If you really wanted to, you could measure across the top and get the exact center Or if you're like me, you can eyeball it. I'm going to scoot it over just a hair. Okay, and so you can put them in like as snug as you want. I want them to be pretty tightly together. And then I'm just going to go one by one, and I'm going to take our hot glue gun and put just a dot of glue right on the bottom there, and then I'm going to attach them all the way down. So once you have your flowers glued down, you can actually, like, there's no right or wrong way to direct your pencil. So you could have done it like at an angle. You can do it pointing down if you prefer that. It's totally your discretion. But our file that we did is actually this way. So we're gonna be putting this, I'm gonna show you guys how to make this in Design Space. We're gonna be putting this on the outside of the shadow box over top of this. So we're gonna have it at this angle, and we're gonna go ahead and hop over to Design Space, and I'll show you guys how to lay this out. All right, so once you're in Design Space, we're gonna come over here to the text option, and I'm gonna go ahead and type out the first word. And what I'm gonna do, I use two different fonts for this design. So the first one that I use is a typewriter font, and it's called Click Clack. This is one of our Maker's Gonna Learn member fonts. Super, super cute. I love this font. I love using a typewriter font for a little bit more of a whimsy look. And then you can duplicate that, and I'm gonna type in influence. So the whole thing is the influence of a good teacher can never be erased. So I'm going to change this to our script font, which is Farewell, and that's also a member font on Maker's Gonna Learn. This is a really fun, like almost a brush stroke type of font file. And those are the two fonts we're going to be using. So you can come over here to shapes, and what I'm going to do is make a square the exact size of our shadow box where this is actually going to be going. So it's an 8 by 10. Unlock the square, and then you're going to change the size to 8 by 10. And then we're going to go up here to the top, and we're going to select white. And then we're going to go to arrange, and we're going to send this to the back. So now we know how much space that we're working with. This is how big the shadow box is, and then we can kind of resize our fonts accordingly. So I'm going to shrink this down a little bit, and then we'll just work our way down. So the influence, and then we're going to do of a in this typewriter font. And you can play around with the placement if you want. I'm going to duplicate that. I like to put the important words in script. That's kind of how I decide what I want to be script and what I don't want to be script. But there's really no right or wrong way. It's more of a design decision. And I'm going to shrink that. I also want my script words to be like a little bit bigger. They don't have to be like huge or anything. But I do like them to be slightly bigger. So the influence of a good teacher, we're definitely going to have teacher in big script. And I'm going to pull this all the way across because that is the most important part. And then we're going to do can never, and we're just duplicating our text. Can never be, and we'll shrink it down just a little bit. And then we're going to do erase in our script font. So this is just a good way for you all to kind of lay out, use our fonts and lay them out in a pretty way. And it's totally custom. You've made this entirely on your own, which I really love. And you can kind of play around with where it's laid out. And it's a little bit big. I don't want it so close to the edges. We want to have a little bit of negative space around it. So what I'm going to do is select all. I'm just going to hold the shift key down and click each one. Fun little hack. And then you can come down here on the bottom right and just shrink it up as small as you want. So it's going to kind of be like that. I'm going to turn our rectangle horizontally so you can see this is what it's going to look like, and then our pencil will actually be behind it. So we're going to apply this to the front of the glass. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that to its side, and then I want to add in a little bit something extra. So I'm going to upload one of our files off of the Makers Gonna Learn website. And this file is just 3 little hearts. This is linked below if you do want to use it. We're going to be using the SVG, and I'm going to upload that, and then we're going to add it to our canvas. And what I'm going to do with these hearts is break them apart and resize them. So you can come up here to ungroup, and now they're individual little hearts, and you can kind of place them around wherever you would like. I just want to use them so it kind of evens the entire design out. I think they add a nice cute little touch. You could put 2 here. You could put another one up here if you wanted. You can rotate them. So after you add your hearts in, we're going to delete this rectangle because we don't really need that anymore. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to change these to, I'm actually going to change all of this to black because we're cutting it all out of black anyways. After everything is black, we're going to select it all, and we are going to attach it. And then once we come into the Make It area, we're going to select On Mat, and everything is going to be together right here. It's hard to see because I've changed the color to black, but it's already there. And then we're going to select Continue, and I'm going to apply my matte black vinyl to my Cricut mat and then send it through the Cricut. So once you get into all materials, we're going to select premium. We're going to search premium, and we're going to select removable matte, and then we'll select done. And then we're going to go ahead and send it into the Cricut. So once it's cut, you're going to weed out the black vinyl and then just leaving the words, and you'll apply your transfer tape, and we're going to go ahead and peel off the backer. Just be super careful when you're peeling this off that none of the letters start coming up with the backer. There's lots of tiny pieces when you're using a bunch of words like this. So you're just going to be super mindful of the entire design, being very careful as you pull it off. And then once it's completely off, we're going to go ahead and apply it to our shadow box. And I'm just going to burnish that down. And then you're just going to very carefully peel your transfer tape off. We want to make sure all of our letters are sticking to the glass of the shadow box. And then after this, we will plug in our paper flower pencil, and the project will be complete. So there's the words. And then we're just going to take our pencil, and I'm going to actually flip it over so we can have a big reveal. So flip it over. We're just going to plug this right in. You got to watch your prongs on your shadow box. Okay, and then just put those down. And there you have it. That's the completed project. What do you guys think? If you decide to do this project, make sure you share it with us. Leave a comment below if you plan on doing this. We would love to see what you guys come up with. What did you guys think of this project? I love how it turned out. Super cute, super easy to make. This would be such a perfect gift for any teacher in your life. If you enjoyed this project, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you never miss any of our fun upcoming projects. Thank you guys for being here with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye. So we're going to be working with paper today, showing you guys a little hack to avoid using Mod Podge, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever thought of this, honestly, like superb creativity.
Superb.
I don't think of things in that way. We were talking about this the other day, like I'm creative in a way where I can see something and like build off of it. I don't just like sprout it out of my own noggin usually. I mean, very rarely. Like every once in a while, I feel like when we did the citrus strip, that was a perfect example of how my brain works. Because I saw it, but then we like took it another step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyways, this is a really cool hack. I hope that you guys are gonna love it. But let's go ahead and jump into supplies. So if we can go overhead, we kind of have a lot going on here, but it's really a simple craft. It just takes a while. So let me show you what we're making first of all. So this is a Dollar Tree tray. Cute, right? Like it was $5.
So it's in the Dollar Tree Plus section.
Yes, it's like the $3 to $5 aisle. And we are going to be using a Maker's Gonna Learn font as well as a file. And then this is just a basic shape and design space that we're going to be using to cut. But you are going to need some scrapbook paper. So I linked some scrapbook paper for you all. I could not find these exact ones and I'm so sorry, but I really did try. These are the 8x8 sheets that I used on the first project. And then today I'm going to be using some 12x12 sheets in this green and black. This is the vibe of the Bell House Christmas decor.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like the amber color's not in here, but like the greens and the dark moody Christmas is like kind of in this year. Also, I'm matching it on accident. It was totally unplanned. So I'm gonna be using these colors today. And I'm gonna show you all how to cut and lay out everything if you're using 8x8 squares or 12x12 squares. So don't worry if that's all you've got.
And really and truly, correct me if I'm wrong, Alicia, but most of this stuff, other than maybe the tray, you all already have at home.
I do not doubt it. And not only that, but you don't have to do this technique on a tray.
No.
Like you could do it on literally like on a plaque or like anything wooden really you could do it on. So you're gonna need some plastic wrap. A lot of people on the internet are controversial about this. They say that you need to use true Saran wrap. I'm here to tell you I use Dollar Tree plastic wrap and it literally does the exact same thing. So Dollar Tree again, y'all know the Dollar Tree comes through for us. I've got a classic gray. I did a gray today, but this is Jacobine. This dark brown is a Jacobine stain, which is like a little bit darker. I just wanted to do gray to pull in the colors of the other scrapbook paper. I've got vinyl gloves, parchment paper, not in a box, sorry about that. I've got a weeding tool, a burnishing tool, a pen tool because this design right here, y'all, I am not gonna sugarcoat. It was not easy and fun to weed. It was not a good time, but we did it. But we did it. But a pen tool, if you don't know what a pen tool, it's like a little tiny, not needle, but like a little needle sticking out right there. It's for very fine weeding. And then I've just got a regular weeding tool. We've got our tried and true Nikapa light grip mat because we are going to be cutting scrapbook paper, and a light grip mat is really good for that. Pair of scissors, a measuring tool of some sort. I've got some light grit sandpaper. This is 220, so it'll say very fine. The higher the number, the finer the grit. I have a paper cutter just in case. And then we've got our tray, which I stained yesterday because I wanted it to cure overnight. Whenever we apply HTV to wood, it needs to cure probably longer than that, honestly, but I put a very thin coat of stain on this. So I'm gonna walk you through how to actually sand and stain this before we get started. Even though I've already done it, I want to show you all how to do it. But let's get all this stuff off the table because
it's a lot.
There's a lot.
If you need to put some stuff over here with me, you can.
I'll just put it right here on the ground. I feel like this is a good spot, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna need our stain. We're gonna need our sanding. We're gonna need this.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Early American.
Y'all, listen, Early American's my favorite. I stain everything Early American. I don't have a problem.
Was this one Jacobine?
This is Jacobine. Jacobine and Early American are my favorite. And honestly, I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like it's espresso. There's a dark stain that very similar.
Or is that that's not the gel stain, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I did it like 2 months ago. Also, you need a little mini heat press. This is going to be for the front of our thingy. So let's move this stuff out of the way. That way you guys can just focus on what I'm doing right now. So what you're going to need to do is get you some fine grit sanding paper. Oh, white HTV. You're going to need that too, or whatever color HTV you're going to be putting on your wood tray. So we're going to need gloves. I'm going to go ahead and put these gloves on. I'm going to act like we're going to do the whole thing, but I've actually already stained the entire thing. And then what you're going to do is take your sanding paper. So I'm just going to take a strip of this, and if you all buy these and you didn't know, you can just tear these apart. That way you're not wasting a whole piece of sandpaper. Like, I don't need to pull this entire thing out. I can literally rip this off. And what you're gonna do is go through and lightly sand everything. So you're just gonna go all the way around. And it's already pretty smooth because this is like a purchasable product, if that makes sense. Like, they've already pretty much sanded everything down. We just want to make sure, especially if there's like stickers on your wood, that you are sanding off where there was sticker residue, because it will not stain. If you've got, if there was a price sticker on here and I didn't sand it, whenever I go to stain it, it's going to resist the stain. You'll have like a giant square wherever the sticker was. So don't want to do that. I didn't stain the bottom because, like, we don't really need to. And then after I sanded it, I went ahead and took masking tape and just kind of did one thin, can y'all see the masking tape there? It's the same color as the tape. Can they see that? Sadie? Is it? So you can use painter's tape or masking tape, and I just put a row all on this inner or this outer edge. And then what you're gonna do, you can just take a paper towel. A lot of people are like, a paper towel to stain? That's just what I do, okay? You can use a cloth, like an old t-shirt or a paper towel. And then you're gonna open your stain up, dip it in, and then we're just gonna rub this all the way around. I went around the outside first, like stained all of the outside, and then I'll come on the inside and stain all of this. And now, the reason I put that down there is because I want my Saran wrap to be in here, and I don't want the stain to prevent the Saran wrap from sticking to the wood. So that's why I put the tape inside here. Is everybody good? Are we following?
I think so. We don't have a lot of comments right now. I think they're really like honing into what you're saying.
Okay, that's good. Well, if y'all have questions, let me know. I went ahead and did that because I didn't want us to have to wait, you know, for it to cure and all that business.
Well, first of all, when you're working with a stain, especially an oil-based stain, and you're wanting anything to stick to it, it's going to have to cure for 24 hours or more.
Right.
So that's why that was a step that she did yesterday to kind of prep all of this.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious to, because I don't know that they understand or they know, and I didn't get to see this process either.
Okay.
Explain to us what you are doing with the Saran wrap.
Okay, so let's jump into that part. So, because it's kind of part of like the instruction, and so I'm just going to explain it as I'm showing you all how to do it. So what we want to do first is go ahead, we've stained this, it sat overnight, you let it sit overnight, it needs to cure completely. Make sure that your side that you're putting your HTV on is completely wiped off the next day. That way there's no excess stain. And then we're gonna go ahead and remove any of our masking or painter's tape. I'm just taking my weeding tool to pull this up. And if you get a little bit of stain on this inside part, it's not a big deal. You don't want to have a whole bunch because we're going to be putting Saran wrap under here, and it's going to act as an adhesive for our paper. So that's what Lauren was wanting to know, and I'm sure you all are like, why is she using Saran wrap? It's basically like our Mod Podge alternative. So the Saran wrap is substituting in for the Mod Podge. So normally, if you're a paper crafter and you do crafts like this, you would apply a layer of Mod Podge. Well, today we're gonna be applying a layer of Saran wrap.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's our hack. And you all can tell probably in this one, like, this is attached, but it's not wrinkly. If you're familiar at all and you use Mod Podge to seal your products,
projects, you'll know that whenever you apply the Mod Podge and stick it on, sometimes your paper will like shrivel up or like wrinkle up.
Because it's too wet. Because when paper gets wet, what does it do?
Right, it
wrinkles up.
draws up, yeah. So we're gonna actually be using Saran wrap. We saw this on a TikTok, we did not come up with this, and we were like, OMG, we have to do a project. So what we're gonna do, let's go ahead. I wanna do the design space portion of this for you all before we actually start to craft, if that makes sense. Like I want us to get all of the elements that we need and then we'll assemble. So let's jump into design space. I was charging our, okay, so let me find my file that I was working on yesterday. Honestly, y'all.
Okay, while you're looking for that, Patty, do not be confused. We've really not done anything yet. All she did was explain the process of staining this tray.
Yep.
We've not really jumped into the design space portion yet. The whole meat of this project is just now fixing to come up.
Right.
She went over the supplies that you may want to go back and look at, but right now, from here forward is where you really need to get out your notebook and your pencil if you want to take notes.
Yes.
And now we're getting into the meat of the project.
Yes, so we're using a Dollar Tree wood tray. All we've done is stain the outside, and now we're in design space. And so it took me a little bit of finagling. I'm gonna kind of walk you all through like the mental process it took me to figure out how to lay these little are they octagons? Let's see.
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, or what's 6?
Hexagon.
They're hexagons. But anyways, okay, so we're gonna be using basic shapes to lay out our quilt pattern. And if you all didn't gather, I'm kind of trying to imitate like a quilt, like a patchwork quilt situation. So we're gonna be using the hexagon, and I'm just using basic shapes. And I'm also gonna be pulling in a square. And what you're gonna need to do is measure your tray or measure whatever surface that you're applying this to. So we're gonna go ahead and get our measurements overhead. So this is 13.5 by, let's see.
Is it a septagon? Now I'm
9.5.
now
Now you're unsure?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I mismeasured that because my 0 is right here. Okay. This is...
A heptagon is 7.
Heptagon is 7. Mm-hmm. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, 10.5 by, let's see here, 14.5. 10.5 by 14.5.
So,
okay, back in design space, unlock that, and we're gonna change this to 14.5 by 10.5. Okay, what is it, Lauren? Tell us.
I'm just Googling.
She's good. I'm just Googling. Okay, I'm gonna change this to a guide function. So my square is selected. I'm gonna go up to operation, and right now you can see it's at basic cut, but I want this to be a guide so I can lay my hexagons on it. So this way we kind of have a base, like foundation to design around, which I really like to do. Now, I wanna have 4 of these little guys from top to bottom. So I'm gonna duplicate this, and remember, the smaller you make them, the more you're gonna have to cut, which is totally fine. If you want it to be way more busy, go for it. I wanted like a happy medium. Like I wanted it to look like a patchwork quilt. So I needed to have enough, but I didn't want it to be tiny because like time consuming, very time consuming. And I am selecting all 4 of my hexagons, and I'm just going to pull those down. Now, I will say, do not do this with your shapes unlocked. I want to show you why. So if I selected all 4 of these, and my little thing up here was unlocked, whenever I go to resize them, they're warping, and the angles are not going to mesh as well together. So like, I mean, I guess they technically would, but it's going to look weird. It's going to start looking a little like warped and wonky, and y'all, that is like my design pet peeve. I literally cannot. You have to lock your shapes. Do not ever unlock your shapes. Just don't do it. Don't unlock your fonts. If the font doesn't fit, change it. It's like I'll soapbox, honestly. We won't though. So anyways, I'm just going to stretch those out. So we've got 4 in a row, and then I'm gonna select them all again and line them up. So I'm gonna go to align and center horizontally to make sure they are perfectly aligned. And then what I'm gonna do is just bump this over here all the way to the left side. And then we can duplicate. And I'm gonna move it. So you can't duplicate it and touch it right to there because you can see the diamonds, it's making a diamond shape in between. So what you have to do is kind of bump it down a row, okay? And just butt it up as close as you can. And then I'm gonna duplicate again. And we're just gonna work our way across. Are y'all with me still? Everybody there?
They seem to be. We're having a heated discussion in the everybody's having discussions about heptagon, septagon, and a hexapod. So a hexapod is an insect group. A six-legged arthropod is an insect group.
I'm glad. Did y'all know that without Googling it? I bet you didn't.
And also, heptagon and septagon are interchangeable words. Heptagon is used more in geometry. So that's where I come from, my geometry brain, because geometry was one of my.
Because you used heptagon, and I said septagon.
But it's still a seven-sided figure with a seven-sided polygon with 7 angles.
Well, heck, far.
There you go.
Learn something new every day. Okay. All right. So I've got all of these. I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and make an extra row. Now, you're gonna have to, like these outer ones, we're gonna have to go through and trim up. I tried to do a situation where anything that was overlapping the square guide, I was like, oh, I'll just slice it all off. But as you all know, you can only slice 2 images at a time. You can only slice 2 layers. And so obviously I'm using 4 there. And even if we sliced all the ones, I mean, you would have to individually go around and slice each one. And I'm just gonna tell you, it'd be easier for you to cut it with scissors or a paper trimmer, which is what I used. So that's what I did. We just wanna make sure we have enough to cover our entire piece. So we're wanting to go a little bit over our guideline, and I'll bring it to the front just so you all can see how much we're going over. Like, let me just bring this to the front. So you can see on the right side here, my hexagons, right? Hexagon.
Okay, can I ask a question now?
Yeah.
So now, because you did this before the new design space functions, correct?
Yes.
So could you bring your square to the front, have everything overlapping, so,
Like,
you know,
so go ahead and fill it in.
Go ahead and fill it in.
Okay. Let's
Go
do
ahead
it.
and fill everything
Because I know
in.
where you're going. I'm going to keep going. You keep explaining.
So what she's doing now is filling everything in. So my thing was, if we did this, change your guide to a basic shape, bring it to the front, select it, and then each little thing that's hanging over the edge. So you would have to do it individually.
You would have
But
to
then
duplicate your
exclude-
square, right?
Huh?
Duplicate your square a bunch?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then exclude each one so the one on the outside is cut off and you're not slicing and reattaching and everything else.
Let's try it. Let's do it. We'll do it with one side and see what we think, and then
Okay.
reevaluate. We'll do it with this left side because they're so little, and it would be nice if they were already cut for me. Okay. Oops, that is not lined up. Okay, here we go, here we go.
Now
Now,
select your guide,
Okay, so my guide.
change it to a basic cut.
Okay.
Okay. Bring it to the front.
Bring to the front.
I can't with myself right now.
Lauren about said a dirty word.
I about said a wordy dirt and didn't
wordy
really
dirt.
mean to. Okay, now select your square.
Okay.
Now let's just select one of the, now go down to your functions and you're going to exclude what is,
we want intersect.
intersect.
We're still learning the functions, y'all. We don't, okay, combine. And intersect's gonna leave whatever is crossed over. So it would leave our little baby. But then
But that's,
our square disappears.
I
'cause
know, but
it-
that's not what I was thinking.
Well,
Like I
heck.
was thinking that it would just exclude that on the outside. Is there one that just excludes that?
I mean, you could technically slice it and then like just
Select
select
each.
this square
Right.
again and then select this and
slice
slice it. Yeah, we can do this. You can do it this way. And that's what I was saying earlier, like feel free. For me, it
was just simpler to.
Yeah, mainly because it turns into a puzzle when you get all those little triangles. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I got it, yeah.
But
So
you
like,
can definitely do it this way. If you want to be really exact, this would be the way to do it. So we're just selecting this rectangle and then selecting an individual hexagon,
Right.
and then slicing it off. And so I'm just going to do that. Let's just do it for the sake of, like, we've already started it and it's really not taking us that long.
Okay.
And I'm just moving the piece I don't need. That way I can kind of keep it organized. So we're just selecting the rectangle, selecting one hexagon, and then slicing it. And then that way, we've just got the piece that we need. Y'all following? Oopsie, I moved it. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Okay. Select, and then I'm holding the shift key down and then hitting the hexagon. That's allowing me to select multiple layers at a time.
Right.
So click on the rectangle, hold the shift key down, select the hexagon, hit slice, move the excess. I'm going to move those both. So this is actually going pretty
I hope
quickly.
this is not any more confusing for you guys.
They'll see when I move the rectangle what
So
is
we
happening.
are only slicing 2, Patty, but see the square, we're not slicing in the same area. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's not, so now she can move the square.
Okay, ready?
And there you go.
And so all of these are going to be fitting perfectly inside of our tray. Does that make sense? So Patty, I don't know if you saw whenever we were just selecting just the square and just the hexagon. So you have to do one hexagon with the square at a time and just work your way around.
Yeah.
And then if you're not comfortable and you're still confused, you can cut your own little triangles. Just go ahead and cut all of your hexagons in their fullness, and then you can trim them down according to where you need to fill in on your tray. So I'm going to delete all of these because we don't need them. And I'll be
Did you know
What?
that you can select more than 2 shapes and do the combined features?
You can select more.
You can select more than 2 shapes.
Okay, let's test it then.
I'm just
I'm just going to like
add 3 shapes together.
yeah, let's just like
Y'all,
add
this
some
is
shapes.
not, we're not trying to confuse you. We are not trying to confuse you. Please, this is something we learn with you guys. Stephanie, I know we might be, I know we're confused now, but so we have 3 shapes here.
Okay.
Select them all and just hit any of them. What did it just do?
To intersect 2 or more selected layers, at least a portion or all must overlap. Try moving 1 or more layer, then try again.
Okay.
Okay, at least.
So like have the heart touch one side. There you go. So now you just have the little place where all 3 of them touched.
Okay, so I don't think we could do that with what we just did.
No, I'm just saying.
But that's a good to know. That's good to know.
You can use those functions with more than 2 shapes.
Listen, that's some design space interception crap. I can't, or inception.
Inception, yeah.
Design space interception. I don't know. We don't need to use that for this, but that's good
No,
to know.
we don't.
Whoever was saying that, that's great. Okay.
Well, I don't know that I think it was, somebody said, I think you can subtract.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I've not tried to do it with more than 2 shapes. Why not try it?
Yeah.
So then I got on Design Space while you all were going over that and
To test it out.
to test it myself. And you can use more than 2 shapes with the new functions now.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we've got our little quilt laid out, let's go over to the Makers Gonna Learn website. If you're new here and you have not visited our website, it's makersgonnalearn.com. Keep your eyes open for the update tomorrow. So we're gonna be just doing
okay, yeah.
We're just doing some updates.
Just some updates.
So go ahead and select North Pole Script. That's what we're using today, which is funny because we're literally putting North Pole Co. Or what do we put? North Pole Trading Company. North Pole Trading Company. I'm going to go ahead and download that to the computer. It's going to come in a zip file, and you're just going to double click on this, and then you're going to select it right here, and you're going to have to hit install. Okay. Now the font is on our computer, but we need it on to Design Space. So I'm going to go back to Design Space. I'm going to save my project as quilt tray or whatever you want to call it into my projects. Make sure you save your project before you reload your design space or else you'll lose your work. And we just did a lot of really good work, so we don't want to mess up. And I'm going to hit view and reload. That's how you install a font into design space. So then you're going to need to go make a text box, and we can go ahead and change our font from this font drop down menu. You're going to want to go to system fonts. If you try to search North Pole in Cricut fonts, you're not going to find it. Make sure you select system, and there it is. So we just need to change this to say whatever you want. It doesn't have to say North Pole Trading Co. I just thought that was cute.
I love that.
Santa Claus Trading Company. I don't know. Whatever you want. Whatever your heart desires. Okay? And then what we need to do is measure where we're putting our words. Okay? Can y'all see that good? Okay, so I'm just going to take our little handy dandy tape measure. And this is 15 inches long by 1.5 inches tall. So I'm going to go ahead back into design space. I'm going to make a rectangle that's that size. This is just how I like to lay out my text. That way I know it's all going to fit and I can see how it's going to fit on there, if that makes sense. Let's change this to a light gray. That way we can see it. We said 15 inches by 2.5 or 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5. Okay, we've got this little baby right here. I'm going to send it to the back, and then you can see, let's move it down so y'all can see what the heck's going on. Bring it to the front. Okay, or not. Hold on, everybody. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. Design space acting crazy. Okay, and then I'm going to select both of these and align them horizontally. You could just leave it like this. And listen, if you don't want to weed this sweater pattern, just stay here. Just don't do anymore. Just stop here. It was hurting my brain yesterday trying to weed this. I don't remember it being so hard to weed yesterday or the day that I did it. Yesterday it was hard though. And what we're going to do next is go to our cut files and find this Christmas sweater pattern. So we're going to search.
Christmas sweater pattern. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, pattern. I didn't put pattern. We have like thousands of Christmas files, y'all.
So just FYI.
If you just type in Christmas sweater, it's going to give you a Christmas sweater.
It's going to give you a Christmas sweater.
You're going to find one for sure. Okay.
So if you are new to our channel, we have thousands of cut files.
Hundreds of fonts. Okay, I'm going to download this Christmas pattern. This is the one we're using. We're going to slice it and dice it. It's going in as a zip file as usual. You're going to unlock it, and it's an SVG. So let's pull up Design Space. We're going to go to Upload, Upload Image. I'm going to pull this down. Where did it go? Okay. Let's pull it down a little bit more, and then I'm going to pull in the SVG, just drag and drop. Okay, and then we're going to upload it. All right, so this is the image that we need for the front. I'm just going to be using like a portion of this. I'm only using this middle portion. Excuse me. So you can take a square or a rectangle. I'm going to use this little square right here and just stretch it out. I'm going to go ahead and unlock it, and then I'm going to pull it all the way across. And you're just covering what you want. So I'm covering this row, and then these 3 stars, I'm going to cover all of that. And then we're going to select it all and slice it out. And listen, I tend to go back to my old school functions. You can use the combine functions. I'm trying to use them more. It's just, I'm used to the slice function.
I get it.
You get it. I'm sure all y'all get it. You're probably like, yeah, me too. That's what I do. Okay, so we just need 1 layer. And then what I'm going to do, and I just realized what I did. I need the row beneath it as well. So I'm undoing. I'm Command-Zing.
Okay.
So
Command-Z it one more time.
do I need to? Yep.
Yep.
Command-Z is your undo function.
So now stretch it.
Yeah, let me unlock it so it'll let me warp. Okay, that's the only time you can unlock your shapes, everybody. That's the only exception. When you're slicing, you can unlock your shapes. I'll allow it. Okay, select it all, slice it out. And then we have our little sweater pattern by itself. Okay. There we go. Bravo. Let's look. Let me look and see what I did. Okay, so here I actually only used, can y'all see, I only used 2 little stars. Whatever you want. The more stars you use, the smaller your design's going to get. So I'm going to slice off one of the stars. So I'm just going to take another basic shape, just how we did, and I'm going to slice off this edge because we don't really, just find a good, there we go. Select them both, slice them. And then we don't need any of that left side. We just need this guy. And you can see here, there's like a little tiny sliver. You can technically contour those out. You would just select the image and hit contour and then select whatever you don't want.
Or you can just weed them out.
Or you can just weed them out, which is what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do today. You can just weed it off. It's probably gonna come off anyways because it's so tiny. And you're just gonna shrink this down so that it fits really good right here. And then I'm gonna duplicate it and pull one over here as well. So this is our design. Cute, right? And you can even shrink this a little bit if you want to. Okay, that's it.
So then what you would need to do is delete out that square behind that, right?
Yeah, okay, let's go to the, we'll go to the make it portion. We'll finish. Okay, so delete that. And then you're gonna want to, this is gonna come out to 14.7. I normally would say go ahead and attach everything together, but it's gonna want you to use like a longer mat. We don't wanna use a longer mat. So I'm gonna make all this the same color, at least. It's on the basic cut function. I'm gonna make it all white, because we're cutting it in white, but I'm not gonna attach anything.
Okay.
That's personal preference. If you have a long mat and you've got a long strip of white HTV, do it.
Okay, so my next question.
Okay.
When it comes to cutting your hexagons, do you just use a full sheet of paper and let it cut all of the ones and then you arrange it the way you want it with the different patterns?
This is a very crucial part of the tutorial. I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to make it. You can do this a few different ways. You're gonna select on mat. Okay, we've got this fine and dandy. We're using HTV, so we wanna mirror our image, so make sure you're mirroring. And then when it mirrors, it flips everything like to that side. So I'm just gonna kind of pull it all over. And then you're gonna see whenever you come over to this part that everything is looking crazy, okay? If you're using 12 by 12 sheets, this isn't gonna be like that big of a deal, if that makes sense. Like, let's go overhead and I'll show you what I mean. So if I have a 12 by 12 mat and I've got a 12 by 12 sheet, I'm trying to think of the best way to tell you all what I mean. Let's go into design space. Okay. So in design space, if you wanted to cut like 2 different colors of scrapbooking paper at a time, because you don't want to, like right now we've only got 3 mats. So it's like in my brain, I'm thinking, oh, I can only have 3 sheets of scrapbook paper. I can only choose 3 patterns. Well, what if I want more patterns, which I do. I want like the most patterns of scrapbook paper. So I'm gonna leave this area right here on the left. I'm gonna leave that there and I'm gonna scoot this last row all the way to the right. And then I'm gonna scooch these 2. And then let's actually flip this around so it fits nice and snug in there. This is a Lauren hack, I feel like. Okay, now what I wanna do, I want to cut 2 different patterns of scrapbook paper on this mat. So in design space, you can see those first 2 columns come to like right at the 7.5 mark. So I'm gonna cut a sheet of paper that is no longer than 8 inches, okay? So let's go back overhead. I've got I've got my paper cutter right here. And I don't want this any longer than 8.5 inches. Are y'all following me right now? Or y'all like, what's she doing? Trust the process, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out. Okay, let's slide our paper in. I don't want it to be longer than 8 inches so that I can do 2 different colored scrapbook papers on my mat. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on here. You can see it does not go past the 8-inch mark, okay? And now, let's go back into Design Space, and you can see I need to make this 1, 2, 3, no bigger than 4. So I need to cut another sheet no bigger than 4 inches. Oops. No bigger than 4 inches to go on the right side. So let's take this other sheet of paper, if we're overhead, and we want it no bigger than 4 inches. So here's my 4-inch mark. I'm just gonna bring it pretty close, but not all the way. I'm gonna cut it, and then we're gonna put this on the right side of our mat, okay? And then this way, we're gonna get to cut more colors of scrapbook paper for our thing. Does this make sense,
and
y'all?
technically, I love this hack of adding the different patterns on your mat. But I mean, if you wanted to go in and manually change the color and have a different color coordinate with a different pattern, you can do that in Design Space.
Yeah.
This is just a way that, because it does take a while to line up those hexagons and everything else, this is just a really quick way to, you know, make it work this way.
Right.
Now, when it comes to where we kind of hacked up and sliced out all of those different things,
Yeah.
really what would have probably been better is just to keep them whole.
Right.
And it probably would have made it into 4 different mats or more.
It does.
And then you
and
could
then
have
you
just
can cut them,
it.
right. That's exactly why I did it that way. That's why I did it that way the first time, because I thought, oh, like I'm gonna have to go and move all these now, which is fine.
Well, that's my bad. I was the culprit for this.
This is what it is. If you are very particular about having a perfect fit, do it the way that we've done it. If you are okay with like freehanding your cuts like me, just keep your hexagons whole and then trim them as you need them, if that makes sense. And I already pre-cut like a bunch of hexagons, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one. That way you all can see what it's gonna look like, what we just did. And then we'll lay out the other ones on here. So is that good with everybody? Like, I feel like that's good.
I think we're good.
Okay, let's go ahead and cut the ones that we were looking at. We're using a maker today, and our base material is going to be cardstock, just light cardstock. Where is she? There she is. And we're gonna hit done. We're using a fine point blade on default pressure, and we're just gonna slide this right in. So this is gonna cut that. But while it's cutting, we are gonna go ahead and start laying out our Saran wrap. So I'm gonna move all this stuff out of the way. Now, if you all use these 8x8 inch ones, you're gonna do the same thing, the same process that I taught you all with moving your hexagons. You're just gonna wanna make sure that they're fitting within an 8x8 inch square on your mat before you go to make it. So, it's really simple. Once y'all get into Design Space, try not to overthink it, because I don't want you to be like, well, she said to do it this way. It's crafting. I don't want us to forget that it's crafting, and there's no right or wrong way really to do things like this. It's your own. Make it your own. So I've got my plastic wrap. This is Dollar Tree Saran wrap. And what I'm gonna do is take my scissors. I've just got a pair of regular scissors, and I'm going to find where this starts.
First of all, I don't know about you all, but finding where the cling wrap, plastic wrap starts is the bane of my existence. I hate it. I hate it.
I don't love Saran wrap in general. I love it for this hack, but like just in life. And I'm going to trim it up. Oh, the world's best scissors. I've got backup. Is it just me, or is like no one ever able to find scissors that work properly?
No, it's, yeah.
I can't ever find any. Okay, I'm trying to not bunch this up, but it's probably the Saran wrap. It's not the scissors' fault. Maybe it is. So you're just gonna cut, cut, cut. the Saran wrap. Trying not to bunch it up. I'm gonna spread it back out. So just consider this your layer of glue. This is your layer of Mod Podge. If you didn't know, Mod Podge is glue and water mixed together. That's it. If you don't have any Mod Podge on hand, but you do have glue, just mix it together.
Elmer's glue.
Yep. Okay. And then I'm just kind of stuffing it down in here. And you can even trim these little corners up if you have good scissors. I thought the orange ones I grabbed were good.
Would a true control knife work better?
Maybe.
I think it's just the plastic wrap, to be real honest.
It really could be. Let's try to just trim it with a control knife, a true control knife. Can y'all see what I'm doing?
Worse.
Well, it cut. I'm just gonna kind of tear it off. Yeah, it definitely did cut, but not well. Okay, let's just trim this off as good as we can. So you just want it to fit in there. You can kind of bunch it up in the corners, but like you don't want it to be super thick because your scrapbook paper won't lay thick. Or it won't lay flat, sorry. It won't lay thick. I don't know what even that means. Okay, so lay it down as good as you can. And then I'm gonna pull our mat off of here so you all can see what this looks like. So satisfying. Pulling that off is so satisfying. And then I'm gonna pull this off and you can see our little triangles. And so that, I feel like this kind of helps it make more sense now that it's all cut out. So you can just peel these off and sit them to the side. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn my mini press on. If y'all don't have a mini press and you're trying to make a Christmas list, go ahead and add it.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and add, we use a mini press for, I would argue that we use it for like 90% of our crafts.
Oh, for sure.
We use it for everything. It's my favorite press. I haven't tried like a non-Cricut brand mini press, but I just love the size. Like I love the size. I feel like I can use it for so many different projects. Okay. So we've got our little hexagons here. And I like to just like make piles of all the colors that I'm using. That's like the easiest way to do it. And you can see I've already pre-cut a whole bunch of these. So let's make piles of our colors. Can y'all see all this? Okay. So I've got this green plaid is my favorite. These little green stained wood. There's a Christmas trees, this black vines, and then this one I really love too. Okay, so what I like to do, now that I've got my Saran wrap down, I'm gonna go ahead and start laying out my hexagons. So you're gonna want the flat edge flush with the bottom of your tray. And I'm gonna start in the bottom at left. So this point will touch over here. I'm just gonna lay these out just like this. You can kind of pull your Saran wrap taut. And then you're just gonna take another one and you can rotate through all of your different colors. Just like this. And you can see this is gonna overlap a little bit. Oh yeah. So this one won't lay completely flat, so I'm gonna have to trim it just a little bit. And I'm just gonna trim as I go. Okay. Oh, that was perfect. Wow, good job. Let me move my little squares down. Okay, so we're gonna lay them out first and then we're gonna iron them all on. Oh, and I need to turn my press on. I just said I was going to. I've got it on the second setting on the mini press. And then what you're gonna do on this next row, remember we've got to come down. You can't line it up like this. You've got to come down and kind of nestle it in between the two. So they're kind of sitting in the windows. I love this star pattern. It's very cute. Okay.
I'm like intently watching myself.
This is very therapeutic, like doing this project. It's just very relaxing to do. It's kind of like doing a puzzle-ish. Okay.
So I do have a question.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you got like a good section of your design down, but you didn't want to, you didn't want anything to move, could you iron down a larger section so that it kind of stays put and then keep going, or do you need to iron it all down at the same time?
You don't have to. Yeah, we can actually iron like this portion down, and then that way, and then we can keep working.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do
I was
that.
just curious.
Yeah, totally. You can do that. Let's add in, I'm going to put a green here. I feel like it's painful to watch people place things when there's like no really right way to do it. You're just like, put that one there. That's the one I want. And then they don't. And you're like, oh, I don't want you to put that one there. Okay. So
It's a heart thing.
it is. Now, the only thing about ironing it on early is that you have to be really careful over here to not get your heat on your saran wrap, which we are going to put parchment paper over this. So once you get a good section, you can just take a little piece of your parchment paper. You don't even need a piece to cover the whole thing. Like, you just need a small, let me just cut it. You just need a small little portion. Okay. And then I'm just gonna iron it like in little segments. And I'm actually gonna just kind of cut this a little bit shorter too. Okay.
So pretty much you kind of just need it the size of your iron, and you can pick it up and move it as you iron.
Yes, exactly. Oh, my cord's short. Okay. And then you can just kind of hold your little paper pieces, just make sure they don't really move. Okay.
Megan said, I'm not sure why, but this project is giving me anxiety.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like saran wrap in general can do that to people.
It looks really pretty in the end if it makes you feel better. And listen, it's not for everybody either. I actually really enjoyed making this. The first time I made it, I was like, that was a cool project. Like, I felt really proud of it. But it is a harder project to teach, I would say, because I just was kind of like winging it. When I did it, I was just winging it. I just knew what I wanted it to look like, but I didn't really know like how to get there. So, which y'all know, y'all get it.
I feel like that's the majority of when we craft. Like, we just wing it.
Yes. And so
Can we do it? I don't know. We're going to find out.
We're fixing to find out. So I think I need to put a little bit more, like longer amount of heat. Like, I'm just not staying on here long enough. And actually, I'm going to turn this up to the 3rd heat setting. See if that helps get it a little bit hotter. Because there's some parts that are sticking and some parts that aren't as good. Okay. And honestly, you could probably just like kind of sit it on there so it seals in really good too. And we'll go back in and add these little random pieces. That's like my last step. Oh, those are on there. Those are on there, people. They are sealed. Yeah. So bump up your heat setting to the 3rd. Do it to the 3rd. And just kind of hold pressure on the squares. That's going to keep it in sealed better. Okay. I'm just going to keep working my way over. Yay.
Would butcher paper work, or does it have to be parchment? No, this is just to create, it can be butcher paper. This is just to create a barrier between your mini Easy Press and the pieces of paper, because there may be instances where there might be a small gap between the pieces of paper, and that saran wrap would just melt onto your iron.
Yeah, we don't want to get this saran wrap on the iron because that would be a hot mess express. Okay.
Yes, it is melting the saran wrap or the plastic wrap and making it stick to the cardstock, making the cardstock stick to the wood.
This black one moved a little bit. So I'm gonna, you gotta be careful because sometimes they like to move, and y'all can probably see right here, it's like a little bit off. All I'm gonna do is just trim. I'm gonna trim this little green piece, like just a hair. If you get it a little bit off, like I just kind of overlapped right there. Honestly, you can't really tell. I know some people were like, I can tell. I can see it. We got to keep trucking, people. Okay. So I'm just going to hold pressure there. I'm not going to move it because I think where I was kind of ironing it like this, it was moving my pieces around a little bit, and I don't want that. We want to avoid doing that at all costs. All right. Okay, so these are adhered. You know what I mean. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep on moving down. Just gonna keep on adding our little pieces. Okay. And then obviously we're gonna have to trim a little bit.
Would this work if your base is chipboard material instead of wood?
I think yes. I'm going to say yes to that. I haven't done this technique on chipboard, but I feel like it's a similar texture, like wood and chipboard are so similar. I think that the Saran wrap would definitely adhere to it still. Well, so y'all get the gist, right? Okay, let's go over to this left side. I want to show you all what I would do in these little holes right here. So I'm just going to take one of my little hexagons, and like you can obviously see, like I need to put one here. Oh, yes, here. Can y'all see it better there? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of lay it here, and you can bend it and make even like a little bit of a crease if you wanted to. And then I'm just gonna trim that off with scissors. You can use a paper trimmer for this if you would rather. Okay, and that was so crooked. It was such a great job. Okay, and that's how you're gonna fill in those holes. And then you would just take your parchment paper, lay it on there. This parchment paper likes to curl up. Just lay it on there and then apply heat so that it adheres.
So we are not sealing this, the top of this. This is just a decorative piece. So obviously it's not gonna be a tray that you're gonna put like a cup that has condensation on the outside.
No, it's literally decor
This is literally just
only.
a decorative piece. I mean, it's a $5 tray. If you wanted to put like a plate of cookies on it, I mean, it would be fine.
It would be cute for that. Yeah.
Right. But yes, this is just decorative, so we're not gonna seal it. We're not gonna
get crazy.
Right.
Now, so I just kind of did the same thing over here, and then you can take one triangle and lay it on top of your piece and just cut another one, because they're all gonna be the same size right there, because they're like right on top of each other. And so you can lay one here, and then you can do it and repeat the process all the way up. And then you're gonna iron those on. We'll go ahead and iron those on. And then I'm gonna show you all how to put the HTV on here as well before we go. I don't wanna keep y'all forever. Do you want me to finish it? I feel like it would take us another 10 minutes just to put it.
It would take a while.
So I'm just applying the heat. Uh-oh. That guy went a little crooked. Okay. So we would finish it all the way out, filling in all of our little gaps all the way across. And then what you're gonna do, this is the part where we apply our HTV. And I've already cut and weeded that. So you can kind of lay it out this way. What might even be easier, I've got my two pieces right here. I'm gonna cut them. And I'm gonna put one flush to the left. And then one flush to the right. And I want to say that whenever you all cut these, whenever you iron these, they like to move. So just be
So it might be
aware.
one of those things like keep the pressure. Don't really move your mini easy press around. Keep the pressure down. pull it up, and move on to the next section.
Right. Okay, I don't need to use the parchment paper for this. I can just do it. What I am going to do is use my hands to hold this in place. And I'm just going to apply pretty firm pressure. And then I'm going to come over here and apply pressure. I'm not moving it because it will try to slide around everywhere. Okay. I'm going to lift this up a little bit because I don't want it to overlap. And this is going to be a warm peel.
So Sue asked, you can do this technique with one solid sheet, right? So yes, if you wanted to do just a solid sheet of paper, or you didn't want the design to be as intricate, like you didn't want the small pieces, maybe you just wanted a square and then like an outline of a square, or however, it doesn't have to be tiny pieces that you piece together for the Saran wrap technique. So if you had like a wood round and you wanted to cover the full wood round and then lay a piece of paper over top of it, it's going to work the same.
Right. And listen, I didn't turn my heat setting down. So it needs to be like on a medium heat setting or your HTV is going to try to melt. So if you've still got it on the hot heat setting from fusing our little pieces to our wood, turn your heat setting down or your HTV is going to try to like shrivel up. And if you hold heat for too long, it may also do the same thing.
So yes, Sherry had a good, she said there are so many ways you could do different designs for different times of the year. How exciting. Absolutely. And that is a good, you know, right now we're doing Christmas, but Maker's going to learn. And here you've seen us do Christmas. We're planning on doing Christmas in the future. Obviously it is Christmas season. But we have more. We have so many files, y'all. So if you are not a Maker's Gonna Learn member, getting in on that deal, our best deal right now, so getting yourself grandfathered in, $40 off our yearly membership. It gets you the Cricut reference guide right here. What we used to refer to it as the Cricut Bible. Same kind of concept. It's just more in a more usable reference guide now. And we're sending you a free gift as well with the Cricut reference guide. I think it comes down to $151.88 for the full year. Plus you get thousands of cut files released new every month. I think we're up to 10,000 cut files now.
Something like that.
Or over. I mean, but you have to think we're adding 1,000 more every month.
Every month.
It's
every
insane.
Month. Yeah.
Commercial licensing to use those cut files to turn around and make money.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So it's it's a really good value, I think.
The brand of HTV that we are using is the Caesar Easy Weed.
Yes, Caesar Easy Weed's the only way, everybody.
It's Caesar Easy Weed or bust.
So there is our little thingy, and then that's it. That's the finished product. But you guys get it. I mean, you're just going to continue and you're going to fill it all in, and that's literally it. Now, if you really did want to put something on this, you could use resin. You could use Mod Podge, Food Safe Mod Podge, if you wanted to seal it on top. But the whole point is that you don't have to.
Using Mod Podge.
Right. Okay.
And taking a chance of that paper wrinkling.
Right. Like so.
We are getting...
Are you making today, Lauren?
So today what we are making, and I'll kind of give you how I come to this inspiration. So we're making these little accordion Christmas trees, and I think they are so adorable. So what I was doing, it was one day I was getting ready to start decorating for Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but for some reason this year I was ready to decorate for Christmas, like
on Halloween?
Yes. So we had our Christmas tree up like super long time ago. Now, it took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with the Christmas tree and where I wanted to go with decorations this year. But I was looking on West Elm. So West Elm is one of my favorite home decor places to shop. And I was looking on West Elm at the sale page, mind you. I like my sales. And I saw these little accordion Christmas trees on their cover photo. Now, I never did see if they were actually selling them, but I thought they were so precious and so cute. And I was like, we can make these. So I was talking to Tanner about it, and he was like, no,
we're gonna make it right now.
We're gonna make it right now. Like, we already have a file, because I said, I'm afraid if we wait till too late, like, these are not gonna be, I guess, as in style, but these have been around for years too at the same time.
They're amazing.
It's kind of, styles come in and go out like everything else, but I just think they're so cute, super, super simple for you guys to make, and very minimal, like super minimal.
Your material is
Materials.
paper and adhesive. Like, is that really it?
Paper, cardstock paper.
Love it.
ATG gun or a glue gun, either one of those.
You've
will
made
work.
both now, right?
I have made both, and the reason that I made both is because I wanted to make sure that I brought you all the best quality. And I will say this is a little bit of a labor of love.
This is a Netflix and craft.
Yes, it is definitely.
I've seen Lauren working on this for multiple days here and there.
Turn you on which thankfully, this one I did this morning. Started this one this morning.
Oh wow, that was fast.
I got it done in literally a quarter of the time. So once you make one, once you get the hang of it, it's going to be super easy for you.
Now, y'all, all the tips and tricks Lauren has already shared with me throughout this process, you all are going to have to make one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So the blue one right here, I made using the glue gun, which I'll be real honest, like, I'm a glue gun queen, like, from way back. Glue gun has been my thing. And I really, going into this, thought that the glue gun was going to be my clear-cut winner.
Yeah, Lauren was ready for that glue gun to win.
I was ready for it to be number one, nothing can beat it. That was it. No.
So why was it? What did you not like about the glue gun versus the HEG? I'm asking because I'm a little selfish and I'm really curious.
It's not that I don't like the glue gun. If you don't have an ATG gun, the hot glue gun will work perfectly fine. But I will say, when it comes to the glue gun, it ended up being a lot thicker than this, and all those little hot glue gun strings took me forever to get off, and it honestly was not near as forgiving as the ATG gun, and that ended up making my tree be a little, I don't know if y'all can see it, it's kind of a little wonky. Like, let me see if
like if you put a topper on,
it kind of sits a little sideways. But that was because, once that hot glue, like, once you lay it down, like,
it's permanent.
There's pretty much no moving it.
Right.
The ATG gun was a little bit more forgiving with that, and I did enjoy that. So this one does sit a little straighter. I ended up actually having to go in with this one and, like, trim off the bottom so that it would sit straight.
Wow.
But I mean, it's nothing that you can't, like, prop it up against something to sit
glue
it straight.
It to a base, whatever you want.
Glue it to a base. But yeah, it was just one of those things that we decided we have to do it now. We have to bring this. You guys love paper crafting so much. We love paper crafting. Minimal supplies. And we honestly, the first time we did it, this is just with regular 80-pound cardstock paper. And I think this one is 80-pound as well. We pulled out the 120, and
too much.
That was so thick.
So Hannah D is asking, she says, what do you think about an Elmer's glue stick? Now, I'm assuming that would possibly not stick as well as we're needing, right?
The only thing that I would really concern me, I don't think an Elmer's glue stick, would stick.
Can you stretch out that green one just to show them like how it truly is an accordion?
So when you make this, like, you have to stretch it out, and it has to hold. So I truly don't think that an Elmer's glue stick is going to do it justice.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
With that being said, yeah, we'll get into, like, all the details with this.
This is
later.
this is a multi-layer. I mean, there's multiple layers, but there's multiple things you want to know to master this project.
Yes.
That makes it really unique.
So we're going to go ahead. Let's go over to our share screen. Let me get out of Design Space real quick, and I'm going to show you guys where you can find this cut file. So if you just go to the Maker's Gonna Learn cut files, all I did was search Christmas tree. Very simple. And then it is going to be, maybe if I don't make you guys sick going back and forth. The one that we used is going to be this tree silverware holder. So I have downloaded that, and we will now go over into Design Space. And you can really, let me go back real quick. So I was talking this morning, kind of talking this through, like even this tree advent calendar, which I know it is a print and cut, correct?
Yeah.
Or Christmas card. Like you could turn that one if you wanted to. You just have to know where to glue. But this one for this craft is going to be the easiest place for me to show you guys where to glue. So we are going to go into Design Space. We're going to go to our uploads, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how we cut this. Obviously we did this a little while ago. Add this to Canvas. So
now guys, did you notice that like Lauren had that cut file saved there? So I get questions all the time saying like, hey Tanner, how does the Makers Gonna Learn cut files work in partnership with Design Space? So notice we had that we uploaded that file one time to Design Space, and you're able to reference it every single time you need to come back without having to go back to the MGL website. So that's really nice. I love that example. So thanks, Lauren.
okay, go to the overhead real quick.
We're getting some questions.
Yes, somebody asked what an ATG gun is. This is the Scotch Advanced Tape Glider, ATG, and this is what we use. Basically, all this is it's double-sided tape. Do you specifically have to have one of these? No, you don't. You can get those scrapbook little scrapbook things.
Now let me tell you, there's a reason why we recommend this one.
Yes.
You invest like $20, $25 into this larger, more advanced looking tape runner, but the refills right here, I think you get 100 yards or so. Like you get a ton of adhesive for like $2. So the smaller scrapbooking ones, they're going to cost you more throughout the lifespan, but this is more of a front end investment, and then you've got it forever, which we love.
And honest to goodness, this looks very intimidating to reload.
I have a full video.
Okay, Tanner has a full video, but we also
how long did it take you to figure it out?
Oh, one time.
Really? There are people that really struggle with it.
I mean, it's just a simple, like, of course, when you first use it, this is probably this area right here, I'm sure is not as sticky as what ours is, which that stickiness down in here really helped me. But you just take this and you're gonna make sure that this side that comes off is gonna be on the bottom, because you're gonna run it through there, and then you just do this, hold this down, twist it a couple times so that it stays secure. It
sounds a lot harder than it is.
But
I linked the full tutorial. If you are interested in paper crafting or consider yourself a paper crafting expert, watch the video. It's 9 minutes. I explain what the ATG gun is, why you need it, and most importantly, how to refill it.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna hop back over to Design Space. So really and truly, you guys can choose which one of these you want. Of course, they are linked to right now they are together. I really liked the shape of this one for this craft. Personally, better than this one.
Well, look at the base too. It's a little curved at the bottom of that other tree.
So this base obviously is not going to sit straight, whereas this one is straighter and is going to sit straighter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to slice all of this, which makes all of these different pieces separate. So then you can come in here and select this and just delete it out because we don't need it. So then we're gonna come up here, come down to contour, because we don't need these two pieces that are in the middle. That's where the silverware, this cut file was made to use as like a silverware holder. So we're gonna contour those two pieces out, which leaves you with this tree. Now I just left it the size that it is. I did not change the size, and I'm not going to change the size for you guys, but you all can make it smaller, bigger, whatever size tree you want. But for the ones that we have already made and the ones that I'm going to show you, I just left it at the standard size. So my trick for this, to make sure to try your best to get this even, is I try to, right here, this area at the very top of the tree, I try my best to line it up with one of these bold score lines right here. Just so, and you can even line it up like right here, just so I feel like it's pretty close. to that intersection so that when I show you the trick to slicing it, it kind of makes it a little easier. And it's okay if it gets off a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna just take this one thing and continue doing it. So from there, after I've got it where I want it to go, I'm gonna go over here to the shapes. I'm going to choose my square. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it over here and line it up with that line as well. Unlock it, drag it down, and then cover the whole side of this tree. That way it should be lined up pretty easily. From there, we're going to take it, we're gonna select all of these, and then we are going to slice.
Look at that, 2 slices back to back.
And then boom, boom, boom. You're going to select all these, delete them, and there you go.
Now, Lauren, for the friends that are like, okay, you're gonna have to make, how many of these are we cutting out?
Okay, so when you cut these out, you have to cut out an even number. But the good part about this is you don't have to duplicate this and arrange it right now.
We're not gonna duplicate this 40 times?
You're not gonna duplicate this. You are going to take it from here. You are gonna go over to make it. Now, when we first made this, we made it on a 12 by 24 mat, thinking that we could get more in because we just made it on the 8.5 by 11 size regular cardstock paper.
We were getting wild.
To show you, it took us a while, but I'm going to show you all how to finagle this around and actually get 7 cuts out of one 12 by 12 paper, which is going to be saving you all a lot of time and saving you all some money with our materials that we use. So once we have this one, if you go up here to where it says project copies, I want you to go up to 7 and then you're going to hit apply. Now it's going to put 7 on 2 different mats, but I'll show you here in just a second. We're going to make all those 7 fit on one mat. So this first one, I'm going to take it and turn it so that the flat edge is up against there. And you're going to have to move, you'll have to move them around to get them to fit. From there, the second one, we're going to turn down and to the right. And then watch how well this fits right here. Now this one, obviously we need to move a little bit.
You're getting close.
Listen,
I love it.
I'm trying to save as much space and as much materials for our members as I can.
You would be so proud of Lauren, everyone. She has been making sure we do not waste a single thing here in this office.
Just call me Frugal Franny.
You should see her. I mean, anything of value we are keeping. It's amazing.
Yep. And we're going to find a use for it too. Then the next one, you're going to lay it flat. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I might be a little bit of a perfectionist and try my best to. And then you're gonna line it up. See, this one's crooked anyway. Let's move this one up. Let's not. Let's just make this one crooked so that it fits. And then you're gonna get close. These gonna be little tiny cuts. Then this one, we're gonna move in right here. And these you'll have to, now this is what, honest to goodness, this project, this part right here is what takes the longest.
Now the best part is, once you set it up one time, you can repeat cutting that mat over and over. So you're not doing this for each 7. You're doing this for the first 7 and you're good. That's what I love about this project.
Yes. So this one, that's real close right there. Let's move it just
Lauren,
a smidge.
you're getting a little frisky.
This
is your first live stream. Do you really want?
Yeah, no, I'm going there.
She's pushing
We're going there. Okay, so then we're gonna go to mat 2 and we're gonna go ahead and move all of these over to mat 1. Okay, so y'all can see this bottom one down here. Like, I am gonna have to move these because when I'm telling you we're gonna cut it close, like, I mean, we're gonna cut it real close.
This is impressive.
See, there we go. Move this up a little bit
See,
more.
I'm surprised Lauren's not putting some ornaments down in that right corner or something. I mean, look at that.
It's a thousand wonders I'm not, honestly.
I love it.
Trying to get, because I feel like, oh, I need to do something with this corner. Okay, so we're gonna go back. We've got this arranged. As you all can see, like, We got some little cuts here. I mean, we got some, not little, but we got some close ones.
Can the Cricut Explorer 3 pull it off?
You
we
know,
will
Tanner,
find out today.
I think we got it. I think we got it. I think I'm touching just a little bit here. And honestly, if it's touching just a smidgen, I really don't think it's going to matter that much. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I think I'm good. Okay, picking our Explorer 3.
Yay!
We are going to obviously set our base material to just an 80-pound medium cardstock. And guys, from here, it's smooth sailing.
Amazing.
It is so easy. Now, I will tell you this. I do think that it is gonna move my cup.
One time, that mat literally pushed my laptop off the table.
Seriously?
My 16-inch MacBook sure did.
Oh my.
It's wild time.
So my suggestion, if you have two of the light grip mats, I would get two of them going at one time. This way you have, once this is done cutting, you can start taking those pieces off, and then we can load this mat, get it going, and it just seems to make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Look at this.
It's gonna be good. Now, how's it going, Lauren?
Ooh, we close.
Close
We're so
quarters.
close, but I love it. Every inch of material I can use, I'm using.
Love it. Look at Lauren just watch over her mat, making sure everything is going to be perfect.
Trying.
I love it.
Now from here, it's, oh, we're going to be really close here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Love it.
So, from here, it's just gluing it. All it is gluing these pieces together.
How about that?
And it's so easy.
I mean, I just love how quiet this Cricut Explorer 3 is. If you're looking to upgrade this holiday season, wow. I mean, for us live streaming, it's very helpful.
Guys, look how close.
Wow. Wow.
Do y'all see how close this is?
You're going to have to show it on overhead, I think.
Okay.
We'll have that ready for overhead.
So you can see as this one's, I'm going to go ahead and reload this. And this is all you do. Once you get those set, one mat
just
comes out.
rinse, repeat.
One
rinse,
comes
repeat.
in. Are we overhead?
We're
Are we
overhead.
Before I cut this, look how close we are right here.
Wow.
And here. I think we might have, I don't think there's any material between those two.
That's crazy.
I don't. See? Okay. So from there,
These colors are blown out. I'm going to try to fix this real quick.
we're just going to unload our mat. Hit play over here. See, it got so close right there. It was.
Holy cow.
But listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, we use I mean, don't tempt me to put a little circle right here in this corner.
But you can save that for another
But
project,
look how
Lauren.
close. Look at this.
Lauren, that'll be a good little piece for something.
Okay, so while that one's cutting, gonna go ahead and put another piece on, braid this one so that it stays down. Now I just like to start leaving these here, and we'll just start gluing, and I'm gonna show you guys. Where's my ATG gun? Here we go. So your first step when you're gluing these together, and I won't go fast so that we can all see this. The first step is you're gonna glue the top, you're gonna glue pairs together. So you're gonna glue these pieces together in pairs. So in two, you're gonna glue the top, and then you're gonna glue here along this cut, here, and here. So I'll show you, and I'll start on here at the bottom. So your ATG is gonna go there, and then here, here, and then turn it around and just a little boop right there
So
on
on
the top.
every one, there's going to be 4.
Yes, 1, 2, yes, on every one of these, there's gonna be 4.
But will it rotate?
So once all of the pairs need to be the same.
Okay.
So you glue these two together. I don't want to be in your.
No, you're good. You're good. You can
I
bring
don't
it
want
up
to
a
have to
little
put my
if you
head
want.
over top. So, but you really need to try
Yeah, go ahead.
and align these, and then just kind of
Wow.
right through there.
Look at that.
And then from there, I set my pairs over to the side.
Okay.
So that they're kind of out of the way. And then I'll show you how to get to here.
So you're doing an assembly line. You're making just pairs.
It is an assembly line.
I love it.
And that's why I said this is a true labor of love. because it does take a while. I mean, once again, once you get it down pat, it's not gonna be take you as long, but it's still one of those things that it's gonna take you a little bit.
Now guys,
now I know it looks like I've got a lot going on here, but one of the little tips and one of the tricks that I'm going to kind of show you right here, instead of doing
can you move all that up just a tad bit? Yeah.
Instead of doing just one at a time here, one thing that could save you some time is going ahead and, since you have your ATG gun in your hand, or with a glue gun, it's gonna be a little different because you can't let that glue dry.
Right.
And I think that's why I also really like the ATG gun, is because it's so fast and you can just kind of let it sit until you're ready for it. But like, I can go ahead and get 4 of these ready and do 4 pair at one time, which is more than what you have on one mat that gets cut. So once those are there, just come back through, line these up.
Love it.
And you need to try your best to get them, that one right there. And the only reason I say that is because I know I just noticed that one that I just glued together was not as straight as I would like for it to have been. Try to get them as straight as you can. However, with this ATG gun, it is a little bit more forgiving. So it will be okay.
Look at that.
You can make these like with as many cutouts as you would like. I prefer that it be, when I was cutting these out, I really don't think you need to go under 70 of these. So if you think about it, you would have 10 sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock paper, and since you have 7 on one sheet, you could get by with 10 sheets.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I love that Lauren's kind of, you know, she's working on these while the machine cuts and then rotating back and forth. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And that way you can have, see right here, I would only have 2. So what I'm going to do, oh no, what happened?
Oh, do you want to show them what happened? Just so that they can see it? Look at that. We're going back over. Yeah,
overhead, yeah,
whichever.
let's go overhead.
Okay. So that
maybe
one little...
I did get it a little too close there.
That's okay.
Maybe my blade decided it wasn't happy with me.
It's okay.
But, or maybe it just came up a little bit and the wheels could have gotten it, but the rest of them are fine.
It's okay. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. But that's okay because I did buy 15 sheets of cardstock just to be on the safe side. So it's not a big deal. We'll just go ahead. We may just stop cutting there.
Yeah, I think that's fine because you already got some cut out and we can make sure we help everyone. So let us know. What weight is the cardstock? It's 80-pound cardstock.
Yes.
65-pound will work for the tree project, but it just will not be as thick and sturdy as this one right here. Wouldn't you say, Lauren?
Yeah, I don't know that I would do anything. I mean, you can try it with 65. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to...
Can you bring that up in the middle? I want them to see like how...
When it comes to pulling it apart like this...
Wow.
I just like the sturdier. You can't go too sturdy.
I can't believe that actually... Like there's something...
together like that?
The ATG is... Like that's a testament to ATG or hot glue gun.
Yeah. I mean, it's... And I'm like... I'm pulling on it, y'all.
I know.
Like straight up pulling on it. Fold the tree flat if you want to.
That's a good question. But after you attach it,
after we attach this one, I mean, if you can find a way to do it, please let us know because I tried to rack my brain around how can I do this so that, I mean, you could probably have hooks that keep it together.
I'm going to go to you real quick.
I would think you could probably have maybe some hooks that
You know what? We
keep
had
it
some paper
together.
clips today that we could have tried. We could get a paper clip and try it.
We can try it with a paper clip.
Sure. You know what? Caitlin
what?
is going to go
Let's
run and
do
grab
that.
us a paper clip. We're going to
gonna
test
do
it
that.
out.
So
I
while
love
she's
it.
going to get us a paper clip so that we can try this.
I love it.
I mean, because I love the idea of being able to store these and like, because these little edges are very, like
Let's get real. If we put that in storage next
if we
year,
put this
it's
in storage,
gone.
it would be gone.
That would be true. Next year. It would be
So,
gone. Okay, Caitlin has grabbed the paper clips. Woohoo!
thank you, man. Ooh, we got colorful, so we can even put green ones on there. Another thing that you could possibly do is if you had a piece of like cardboard on one side, maybe.
Let's get Velcro too. Why not?
Yeah, might as well. You can try to
I mean, there's multiple ways to make it work.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the overhead so I can show them how. So
Now that you have your
all
pairs.
can see, we have our pairs. We have all of our pairs here. What you're gonna do, so with the pairs, we glued here, here, and here. Now we are going to do and up here on the top. Now we're gonna start at the bottom and we're gonna glue at the very bottom of the tree, in the middle of this section, middle, and not the top. So
Okay.
now we're going to glue bottom.
Now, if
middle.
anyone's trying to multitask for this project, like come back to us, watch what she's doing,
Yeah.
listen at what's happening here, because I don't want you all to forget this.
Yeah, because this is where you can, say my little ATG gun didn't work for me that time. This is where it's important that you don't go between gluing one and then switching and doing the other. That's why I say do the pairs, do all of your pairs first, so that you are in the mindset of gluing here, here,
Right.
and here. And then once you have all of your pairs, then you start assembling it and putting it together.
Okay.
And then you're just going to line these up. And I mean, it's, once again, I tried earlier trying to save as much time as I could since I had my ATG gun. See, and this is something else, y'all.
It's forgiving.
It is forgiving. It is very forgiving. But see, just bring that back up and...
So, Lauren, because I know somebody is asking, aka me, what's the bare minimum? If I wanted to make one the fastest, the easiest way, do you think I could pull this off with 50? Do you think I could do this with 45? How many to make it look good?
I just don't think that, I'm afraid that you wouldn't be able to pull it all the way around with 40 or 50.
Okay.
Because the white one that I've got, that I did with the ATG gun, and even with the hot glue, I thought that I would be able to get by with less than 70.
Which I agree.
Because hot glue is obviously going to keep it together a lot better than ATG. So I thought that I could get by with a lot less. But then once I started pulling it apart when I was doing the hot glue, and I started kind of stretching it out, it
just
still
wasn't doing it.
It wasn't doing what I thought it could, like what, I don't know, I just didn't, I think 70 for me personally.
70 is your sweet spot.
Is the sweet spot.
Okay.
Now you can do a lot more. When you do more, it's going to make it look a lot fuller. It's going to make it look, I don't want to say luxurious, but look more high end.
Because I feel like, is there more on the blue one than the white one?
Yes.
I can tell that.
There is more
I
on the
can tell
blue one
that,
than there is
yeah.
the white one. Adding shades of the same color
Let's go to
family
the main camera.
would be, I think would be beautiful, especially if you were able to figure it out and go like dark green, light, or blue, whatever. But if you went like dark green, lighter green, light green, and then back to dark green, and then back to light, like if you were able to figure it out in a pattern,
Right.
so that it, or where it ombres, like you split that let's say you did, you had 4 different colors in the same color family and you split it up and you did 80 pairs instead of...
Sure.
Instead of 7, or you did however many pairs, and you say, let's just say you did 80 pairs. Actually, that'd be 160 cutouts. Let's go back. And let's figure that you do 40. So that 40 pairs would be 80 of these cut out. And let's say you did 10 pair with a light blue, then a darker, and then you ombre it. Would be really pretty.
That would be a hoot and a half.
It would be.
Now, I'd be struggling just to make this with one color.
But what I'm saying, like, you could do it. Like,
Yeah, you
it's
totally
definitely
could.
doable. I think it would be beautiful if you did it right. Like
Yeah.
the gradient, ombre, whatever.
Yeah, Stephanie's
So,
saying gradient and everything. We love that.
what I do next, once I have glued it and it looks together like this, my suggestion to you is take this and just pull, because you're going to see some of these, like, let's look. Well, it was stuck together somewhere up here. There was somewhere where I was seeing these top. I would probably pull apart here, go through and make sure that, oh, see, if you all can see right here, and y'all may not be able to see it, I forgot to put glue right here.
Oh.
And so I can see that it doesn't look right. So what I can do, and really if you wanted to come in and put a dab of hot glue, or you could, let's do that.
I think the dab of hot glue, I like that idea.
That way we could just stick a little there, hold it down.
Now, part of the stretching, too, is just to get it flexible, ready for that wrap, right?
Part of the stretching is going to be to get it flexible, because it's a lot harder to pull it around once if it's not flexible. The other part of the stretching, and this is where I've got our reverse tweezers out. The other part of the stretching is to see if you've made any mistakes, if you need to add a little bit of glue here, add a little bit there, and also to come in through here and like get this excess glue out right here, because that's going to happen. Point blank, like you're going to have a little bit of excess glue, and it's going to keep these to get like held together in certain spots, and that's okay. See, there's one, I don't know if y'all can see down here at the bottom, there was one, and it may have just helped itself.
It might have.
But that's another thing, that's what helped, like pulling this apart will help do that. It'll help.
Kind of see the issues.
Yeah, there's
get ready.
one. I don't know if, can we go overhead so they can see this? So if y'all can see right here,
Okay.
you see this tape where you just kind of come through and take that apart, and then, just kind of check everything and make sure.
Now, for the white one, there is 70 on the white one, correct?
There is 70. See, here's another one right here.
Love that.
Pull that apart a little bit, and then come back over here and look. Yeah. So,
Love it.
and just stretching that. It's gonna, and there may be a few places where it comes apart, but that's okay. Like you can always glue it back down. Let's see, that should be open there. That should be open there. See? Then, so now we're gonna take your all's idea.
Ooh, are we testing? What camera do you want?
Let's go to 1.
Okay, here we go.
We are going to test the paper clip and see how this works. How many friends do we have crafting with us today?
Lauren, we have quite a...
So I'm trying my best to figure out where I'm going to paper clip this.
So,
y'all,
yay!
it worked.
It worked! Oh my gosh!
I'm so, I was really afraid, and there is a small place right here where it's close that it kind of pulled apart, that tape did a little bit. But then you can just go back in and just kind of squish it together.
That's incredible.
Now this one, this one I did use more than 70.
Okay, how many?
This one I
Like
used.
80?
Okay, so let me think. Because I bought 15 sheets of cardstock to be on the safe side. And I stopped putting them together at 10.
Okay.
So this one, let's see, I had the 70 plus I did 3 more, which is 20. So I did 80. Yes, 80 is on this one.
But it looks good.
Yeah, but okay, so you all can see the difference. This one is 70 and this one is 80. I feel like this one looks personally more
I don't know. The white still looks good.
I like the white one too.
I just like the white tree. Bring
like
the
the
blue
white
tree in
tree.
too. The blue tree. Let's see. Love them all, really.
That
Slow mo
blue
that.
one's
Yes, Carla. I love that. They all look really good. I mean, they all look really
Yeah,
good.
we could do a TikTok.
Yeah.
We could do a TikTok.
Okay, Lauren, that's crazy. You did really good on that one.
I know. I'm pretty pleased. Pretty pleased. Now these two I hot glued because I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to get them to stay. I really did not think that paper clips, but that's what this community is here for.
Look at
when we
us.
have a problem, we come to our community and we figure it out together.
And whoever commented saying, hey, how do I store this? Now Lauren's going to be able to take that paper clip, take it apart, and go back to normal, which is crazy.
So we'll just go ahead and do that now.
Will it come back together?
I'm sure it will. We'll not do that.
I'm sure it's easy. It's easy to unpaper clip it, but I love how it can spin. I would hate for you to have to refigure that. Honestly, Lauren, an argument towards the paper clip. Let's say hypothetically someone glued it and it was off by a little, then it might have trouble standing up. This way, there's room for improvement. You're not permanently doing anything. That's pretty neat.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Somebody said turn the white one around. This is the white one.
That's all she got.
Yeah, I had to glue the white one. The white one's been done for a very long time though. This was the very first one that I did.
Now, Shelly says, what would happen if I wanted to make some smaller ones? Can you talk about what you would be worried about if we went smaller, bigger, etc.?
So going smaller, I think would work. There is, let's see, where'd this go? I don't think that you should have a problem going any smaller because I'm with you guys. I think having a variation of different size trees would be beautiful. Let me get in here. I mean, I've already got one loaded. I could try to cut some smaller ones real quick.
Okay.
And see what you all think.
Sure. So you're going to go
We're going to go
here.
back to, let's go to finish.
Yes.
We're just going to go back here. Let's make it 5 inches.
Love it.
Okay. Then we're going to go to make it. We're going to be able to fit more than 7 on this.
Heck yeah. Now, how much would you sell this for? Honestly, this depends on your time and how fast you get, because let me tell you, from Lauren's first one to now her third, the time it took changed dramatically.
Oh, yes. So the first time, and they got better. They're getting better every time I make them. So the first time I made it, I was trying to figure out where I was going to glue.
Look at all those layers.
Dude, that's 10 on there without even having to move anything.
That's awesome. I think you should go with the 10.
Let's just do it.
Just for everyone. Wow.
Let's just do it. That way we don't have to actually sit there and arrange them.
Yeah, that's great.
We're going to click on medium.
Oh my gosh, Rita, can you do circles and make balls? Did you answer that? Yes, you can, because it's incredible. That's one of the ways people kind of do.
Yes.
Is they do this with half circles. They do the same technique. You could do this with, what other shapes could you do that you've seen?
You could about do it with any shape that you want. I could see a star might be kind of harder. Let's go over to the, let me just hit play on this.
Yeah, hit that.
So let's go over to the main camera. So if you did, let's just say you did a half circle. And let's say you did glue on the top, glue in the middle, and glue on the bottom. Then you would just glue those pairs together with the glue on top, bottom, and middle. And then when you started gluing that and sandwiching together, you would do in between the top and bottom and in between. So it would be 3 on one, 2 on another.
Wow.
Would probably be what you would have to do
that.
with the half circle.
Love that.
One smaller and one narrow, taller tree. I mean, you could do a narrow, taller tree. I would think you would probably need more glue in certain places if you did that.
Sure.
Bells would be beautiful.
That would be adorable.
Bells would be cute. This is something that has been around for years.
Yeah.
I've seen these accordion trees. My grandmother used to have all kinds of not necessarily trees, but like all kinds of accordion, which it was made with tissue paper.
Yeah.
And it was a lot easier to move, but they were so easy to rip and tear.
Sydney wants just completely free. And look at Lauren. I'm gonna go back over to the overhead. She's just gluing these together.
This is all
It's
I've got of
amazing.
the little ones, but I definitely think
Here, we're
it's gonna be a
back
little
to
harder
one.
to.
Right.
Oh, we're back on one. It's gonna be a little harder to separate these out right now.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I definitely think it's doable.
Okay. Cool.
It's definitely doable with the smaller
Follow the
ones.
same process.
And I think it would be super cute.
that would be adorable.
That would be super cute. It's gonna take more than 10, more than 5 pairs of these for me to be able to separate them out and you all see it. But I do think that sizing these down and making them smaller or even bigger it's gonna be perfectly fine.
Love it. Love it. Yay. Well, what a fun project.